Wow. Are we here? Is this live? Are we live? I think we're live. Yeah, it says we're live right there. Hey, everybody. This is Johnny Beane and John BL.
Hey. What's going on, everyone?
How are you doing, man?
Doing well. Yeah, it's
awesome.
Really warm here. It's been rainy and like humid and just I had the air conditioner on for the last hour just to cool the room off, and then kind of dry up. I was having this shiny head. It gets shiny real quick. So,
man,
but it's all good.
Oh man, it's 9:12 p.m. out here in Santa Cruz, California, August 17th, 2019, and welcome. This is Straturday Night Live. This is we talk about music, talk about gear, guitars, mostly musical.
Hopefully musical, and
musicals.
We kind of get off track a little bit here and there, but it's Saturday. I think Johnny likes the Saturday night to be a little more freeform, so we cover a lot of stuff on a Saturday night.
Yeah. And so, real quick, you guys, I'm gonna get this out of the way. I got this in the mail a couple days ago.
What is that? Gear Up for the Resistance.
Yeah, it's from Hulu. There's a TV show called The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. It's a pretty good show.
I've heard of it. I heard of it. I have not seen it, but I'll have to check that on my Hulu subscription.
Yeah. So anyway, the first 2020 limited fans, you could order this and get this in the mail. It's from Levi's. So we're gonna unbox this real quick. Right out of the gate, I'm going to do this real quick.
Yeah, let's see it.
Going to check this out. Again, this is from Hulu's The Handmaid's Tale. It's a Hulu original show, by the way. Gear Up for the Resistance. Levi's. Right there. All right. Yeah, I got this a couple days ago. And figured I would unbox it tonight. We would check it out. See what this is.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, this is cool. Hang on. I got to show you guys. What's going on here.
Please show us.
Okay. All right. Look at this. This is cool. You open up the box.
Is that like a leather, or is it like a cloth kind of covering?
It's paper.
Paper. Leather, cloth, paper.
It's a paper covering. Okay, here we go. Unboxing, you guys. Well, nice box. The box is pretty cool. Look at that.
Are those stars, or is that like styrofoam?
It's like paint.
Oh, okay.
It's like paint splatters, I guess you would call it. By the way, in the chat, does anybody in the chat? Any of you guys watch the TV show, The Handmaid's Tale? Did any of you guys watch the show? Did any of you guys know about this? Okay. Nice box. I'm going to keep that box. All right. Here it is right here. It's got the Hulu sticker. And, oh, look at this. Oh, man. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff in here.
Blessed day for the revolution. That's cool. That's real cool. I like that. Is that a sticker or like a...
No, they're patches. Oh, there's patches in here. I'm gonna have to start watching the show. Okay. I don't know if it's a collector's... It's collector's items. I don't know if I want to open this, but I guess I should, huh? I mean, this is...
Yeah, why not?
This is an unboxing. I'm going to open this stuff up for you guys. If you guys are fans of the show, if you guys have been wondering what this stuff is.
A few people saying they've seen it or their wife watches it, so...
Well, that's what the deal is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she watches it. She ordered it and said, Johnny, you're going to get this. And I'm sorry, but I've never seen the show. But I've seen, the ads for it when I'm watching Hulu myself.
Mm-hmm.
So these are patches. Hello, my name is
Of Nobody.
Of Nobody.
Okay.
There we go.
And what do you know about the show, Johnny? What can you got to give us a little bit of a description if you can.
I don't know anything about it. How about
you said dystopian kind of. I said zombies, and you said no, or I guess it's not about zombies.
It's based on a novel by Margaret Atwood.
Okay.
That's what I'm hearing in my ear. It's dystopian. It's the future.
Johnny Beane's dog's wife watches it, so
That's right. Praise be bitch.
nice.
There we go. Nice patches. There's some nice patches here. All right, what else? Oh, there's more. There's more stuff. You're a part of it now, it says. Right there.
You're a part of it now. Is that a good thing or?
We're humbled and amazed at how The Handmaid's Tale has become more than simply a TV show because of fans like you. We hope you wear this jacket. I'm the one wearing it. With pride, knowing that you're part of something bigger now. If I'm going to change things, I'm going to need allies. Oh, okay. All right. So I'll be able to take a selfie of myself wearing this jacket and tag it. There's a hashtag all over Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Yeah, one of a kind. Each of the 2020 Handmaid's Tale Levi's jackets, they're all unique.
Wow. Oh, so is it like a denim jacket?
They're hand painted. They're hand painted.
We got to see this now.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. There it is. Wow. Look at this. Oh, this is heavy.
And it's a real it's like real Levi's jacket, huh?
It's a real Is it Levi's? Yeah, it's a real Levi's jacket.
That is cool.
Partnered.
I see. Yeah, what does it say? Bastards.
Bastards everywhere. That's what it says.
Bastardes.
I'm losing my here, yeah, let me throw it on.
Yeah, let's see it.
Here we go. Here we go. I think it's
I remember when those things that was our era when those things were popular. I remember going out to the Gap or wherever the hell it was, Levi's, and buying those good fit.
Oh. There we go.
Nice.
What do you think?
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, this is. Oh, it's like hand painted and stuff. Or
Yeah.
it's got like the paint.
Well, that's what I did to mine back in the day with the paint pens. You had the patches and everything.
This is a nice jacket. Holy crap!
That's cool. Yeah, definitely.
It's got this is like what I was wearing back in
yeah. I had one of those.
1986.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Did you have a Van Halen patch on there? I had my Van Halen patch.
No, I didn't. I want it. Yeah, but it's got the patches, and so if I wanted to, I could put the patch on or whatever. But yeah, this is awesome, and it is
cool, that is a cool jacket.
It's a little too warm to wear this right now, but this is
looks like a good fit too.
I think I've got a new jacket, you guys. This is awesome.
Very nice.
How's it look? Looks all right.
Fruitcake Tony said, "Woman's jacket, bro." I guess where are the buttons? The buttons are on the wrong side.
No, this is a men's jacket.
Oh, cool.
This one is there was men's and women's, and no, this is.
Well, that's how you can tell if the buttons are on the wrong side, but you know.
Well, the men's, the buttons would be on the right.
Well, I don't know. Jeez. Yeah, on the left.
If they're on the
I don't have any jackets nearby, or any button-up.
Somebody in the chat, tell us.
I mean, that's the quickest way to tell if it's men's or women's, I guess. But on the right, Vista says the buttons are on the right. So
yeah, they're on the right.
Yeah,
they're on the right. So anyway, this is cool. I've never seen this show, and this is awesome.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Definitely.
Look at this.
Is it like a prop from? Does somebody in the show wear a jacket like that, or I mean, I don't know.
Let us know in the comments down below on future replays, because I'm gonna tag this show and Hulu all over this video, and there's people apparently this is like people want this jacket, so let us know in the comments down below. Anything about
a few people talking about it.
But yeah, this is awesome, man. This is
Hey, you're styling now.
Styling. Thank you. Thumbs up, you guys. Everybody, thumbs up
Yeah,
for
let's hit
for,
that
for
thumbs
the
up.
jacket. Thumbs up for Hulu.
Anytime you can get a one. Well, it's one of a kind, right? Basically, didn't you say they're
It said that they're hand painted, so
So
you
they're
can
one of a kind,
feel.
yeah.
I can feel the paint on here.
Back in the day, yeah, we had the paint pens. I would, or even nail polish, any of that stuff that would work. Spray paint. Mine was God. By the time I was done with it, getting out of high school, mine was just falling apart. Definitely.
Man, awesome. Yeah, I've never seen the show. My wife watches it, and she ordered the jacket, and it's a very limited edition thing. And
people aren't liking it in the chat, man. People are giving you crap.
oh well, that's fun for me.
This has turned dumb real quickly.
They're just jealous.
Exactly.
There's only 2,000 of these things. Come on.
Well, that's and it's a good looking jacket too.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
It is. I think I'm thinking about getting rid of the beard. I don't know.
Well, you do that every once in a while.
Yeah, I know.
It's about time.
But I think this jacket's a part of my new look. I think starting tomorrow, you're going to see a whole new me.
Well, I like it. I think it's a good looking jacket. It's it takes me back to the Levi's. Where would you buy them? Was it at the Gap, or I guess it was just a Levi's? Did the Levi's have their own store?
I think that maybe they did.
Maybe, I don't know.
The Gap, all those kinds of stuff.
That's right.
So anyway, yeah, welcome everybody. Okay, we got that out of the way.
All right, we got that out of the way.
For all you what is it called?
Handmaid's Tale.
All your Handmaid's Tale fans, thank you for tuning in.
We got a little history here. Vistalite says women's buttons were on the left because the servants were male, so it was easier to help women get dressed. All right, I take that job.
There you go. Awesome. Well, hey, this is cool. Actually, yeah, this is very cool. I like it. So hey, if you're new here, if you're brand new, subscribe to the channel, click the bell.
That's right. We don't just talk about jean jackets.
Thumbs up. Well, we probably should now.
Yeah. Let's change the format. Let's change the format to fashion design. Actually, just a quick plug. My cousin's doing some fashion design now. He's got his own line of shirts that he was selling over at a couple of crafts fairs, and he's getting that going. So, just a quick plug to Kenny out there.
Is he online?
I'm sure he is. He's really just getting. I think he's like 21. So he's really just getting started. But that's kind of where he's going into business and fashion and into in college.
Oh well,
so it's cool. Yeah.
Get a shirt.
I will. I'll definitely get a shirt.
Have him send you a shirt. I'll wear it. I'll wear one.
Definitely. I will hook that up. Definitely.
Awesome. So hey, welcome everybody. Okay, now we're starting.
Now we can talk about gear and guitars, and rock, and
we got Soda. We got Gary Tholander, Venus Pinkel, Krellbar, Vistalite 1972, Kenko Door. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Halface, the dog Paw, Dry Heat 480. Lonnie Hoke, what's up? Welcome. Fabulous Disaster. And
7 over 8. 7 over 8's out there, Jay.
7 over 8. Jay's here. Let me know, Jay, if you want to jump in here. We got 38 watching. 19 of these.
Yes. Keep them coming.
Yes. David Ennis.
The legendary David Ennis.
Legendary. It's David Stratocaster, iPhone, Capalipers,
EVH,
Humbuckers, Wolfgang
Ennis.
Everybody. James Gum is here. Brett McCord. Nightbot. That's right, Nightbot. I like that comment. Mickey, good to see you. Steve Carmichael. Buttons on the right are easier to get them undressed, too.
Yeah. That's right.
There we go.
Hey, Thomas Santiago.
Thomas Santiago.
Is that the one that Mancuda likes? Santiago.
That's
You can do it with that one too.
What's his name? What's his name? He plays
Eduardo.
the man.
Isn't it
Eduardo?
Eduardo.
Yeah, he's got like a. Is it a mandolin? Is it a mandolin? He's got a little guitar that looks like an EVH guitar. He built it himself.
Oh, let's get him on someday.
That's Eduardo. That's Eduardo. He's called in actually. I've talked to him on the phone here before.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. It's Straturday night. It's an anniversary. You know what the anniversary it is? Another 50-year anniversary, 1969.
Woodstock.
That's right.
That happened today or tomorrow?
It happened. So it was. I think it was 15, 16, 17. Today was it 17th? Or are we going on the 18th now?
You're on the 18th.
So
yeah.
Jimi Hendrix will be performing later this morning. He performed at I think 9 a.m. on Monday the 18th. So
you know what I heard on the radio the other day?
What's that?
I heard that was it CCR?
Mm-hmm.
Creedence Clearwater.
They just came out with their whole set on vinyl and a new release.
What I heard this on the radio, was they were there at Woodstock, but they refused to have their footage they didn't want their footage in the film.
There were several of them. Neil Young was another one who was actually performing with Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young, but Neil Young did. He performed separate from the other three, and he didn't want to be filmed. And then there's stories of like the Grateful Dead. I guess their film didn't come out because it was too dark, and there was a storm at the time, and the film didn't come out. So this is one of my favorite books about Woodstock. It's all about the movie, but it tells you. It really goes into detail about all the tech behind it, an inside look at the movie that shook the world and defined the generation. But it's the stories. Everybody says they wish they were there, but you really didn't want to be there. It just looked like a mess. And I watched the film earlier this week. I watched, and the film's amazing. It's just, but not only just watching the film and how dirty everything was, and how nobody really heard what you hear over the film because the PA was so it was I think it was something like 5,000 watts for the equivalent of today. They say there was 400,000 people there, maybe 200 at once. So an audience of you got it right here. There's the Woodstock audience.
It was like 12 football fields or something.
Yeah, and they were performing with these little. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 little speaker cabinets that were maybe like a couple of 4x12s.
Mm-hmm.
So
as far as CCR, John Fogerty said that they didn't want their footage included with the film because he didn't think they played great that day. He thought it was crappy, and he didn't want that going. He didn't want everybody seeing that performance, so that's why they kept their performance.
Well, they're one of the bands that didn't really need it. They had by 69 and certainly after that, they were their own. A band like Santana that Woodstock really broke them, or really got them into the mainstream, or a band like 10 years after or something like that. It's their biggest legacy is the Woodstock Festival. Not necessarily Santana, but I'd say 10 years after. They didn't have a lot after that, and Canned Heat and stuff like that, and but Creedence has their own legacy aside from Woodstock, so they didn't necessarily need that stuff out. But the movie really brought a lot of those under people that people didn't necessarily know about at that time in 1960, or the movie came out in 70, and it introduced a lot of people to a lot of those bands that could have been nothing, but they were at Woodstock and they stole the show for their set. And
mm-hmm.
you watch the Canned Heat performance, which is just one song, but I think it was just a jam that they did it as an encore, and it's just great rock and roll. A couple of those, Alvin Lee in 10 Years After. He's up there just wailing on a 335, and that was the first time I saw someone playing a semi-acoustic and just getting like a real like distorted sound out of it. I didn't think you could do that at the time. When I had first seen Woodstock, I was like, wow, that guitar sounds amazing, and it's like it's an acoustic almost. It's a Gibson 335. So, yeah.
Somebody said Country Joe.
Country Joe and the Fish. That's
Country
another
Joe
one.
and the Fish. Dude, my sister and I were friends with his son.
Is that right?
Actually, we still are. His son, actually, well, maybe I shouldn't say. His son owns a shop in Berkeley, and cool. My sister went to school with him, so he used to come over to our house. His son
and Country Joe, I think he was the only one that did 2 sets. He did Country Joe and the Fish, and then I think he did a solo acoustic set. It may not have been him, but there was one person that did 2 sets at that. One was like a rock set, and one was like a acoustic set. Because they were filling time. I mean, that was another. They couldn't get the performers into the site, because every road was blocked. Every road was blocked off, and so they had to helicopter them in. You can see, I think that's the helipad right there.
Parachute everybody in there.
That's right. So, so it was kind of improvised. So much of it was improvised. Not only the filming of the movie, the sound system. I mean, I've read a lot of books on Woodstock and seen all the documentaries and everything, but that wasn't the original site. So it took them. They had all this infrastructure set up at the original site. And then like a month before, they said, no, it's not going to happen there. I think it was Wallkill, New York. And they said, and then finally Max Yasgur's farm, some old milk farmer in upstate New York said, you know what, you can come to our farm. The town's ready for you. And then it was just, they had a month to prepare. That's why the PA wasn't sufficient. That's why the fences weren't sufficient, and it became a free concert at that time. After all the,
that's cool. Country Joe is on the most recent Rolling Stone podcast. Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. He used to. I used to work in the shop in Berkeley, and Country Joe would come in.
That's so cool.
So I've met him. I would see Wavy Gravy all the time.
Oh my goodness.
He would come into the tour. He would come in. My sister and I, he has this, or he did. I don't know if he has it anymore. He had this camp. And,
well, was it like a commune? He was all about the commune, the pig farm. That was what
he would have this. Well, yeah, didn't he?
They did security. He was security for that show. Him and
he one of Manson's followers lived with him.
That makes sense.
Lived with Wavy and his wife. I heard that. I heard this interview on the radio about a week ago, and she was talking about how she lived with him when she was. Yeah, there he is. That's him. Yeah,
Wavy Gravy.
Yeah, I would see him all the time around Berkeley. This is when I lived in Berkeley, and anyway, one night, my sister and I were driving. And we're driving, and we're behind this van, and we see the silhouette of the person driving the van, and it was him.
Oh wow!
Right? But yeah, I would see him all the time. Actually, I think the last time I actually saw him.
Well, that's you're living right in that area where you're how far from Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco are you? You're not too far from there, right?
Well, from Santa Cruz here, it's a couple hours, but from Berkeley, it's just across the bridge.
Well, okay, so Berkeley,
you can if there's no traffic, you can be over there in 45 minutes. Oh,
that's cool.
But yeah, Wavy Gravy. I would see him all the time. Country Joe, Joe's son. Somebody mentioned something about Richie Havens in the chat. I met Richie Havens.
That was the first show that I ever worked
ago.
Tech on. Richie Havens and who was the other acoustic act that his father was huge. You know who I'm talking about. I can't think of it right off the bat. Not John Sebastian. His father was the he wrote all those kind of country tunes back in the 20s and 30s. Someone in the chat knows who I'm talking about.
John Biel. Who is it?
John Biel. Yeah, and Woody Guthrie. Thank you, Woody Guthrie. So it was Arlo Guthrie.
Arlo Guthrie? Wait a minute. What?
Arlo Guthrie. And Richie Havens. The two of them were the first show that I worked tech on back in 1996.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I mean, and later that year, I think we had 10 years after, and I did monitors for 10 years after.
Was it 10 years later?
Yeah. So that was one of my favorite experiences working stage crew. We got to hang out with the band 10 years after, and they gave me all kind of Woodstock stories, and the whole visual of like helicoptering in and seeing this. It's hard to see on the computer, but
I saw Arlo Guthrie play in a church one time.
Well, his was he the one who had the Thanksgiving song? Was that Arlo Guthrie?
The Thanksgiving song?
Yeah, that's like 20 minutes long.
What's the record? What's the?
That's a good question.
Diner.
Diner.
What is it?
What is
Somebody's Alice's restaurant.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a cool song. I listen to that every Thanksgiving. It's just a good.
So you guys, we know more than just Van Halen.
That's right. Thanksgiving Day Massacre.
We know a lot more than just that stuff.
It's a great story, and
we love everything.
That's right up in Rob Johnson's area. It's not too far from here, where they're talking about Western Mass and the Berkshires and that kind of area. Yeah.
Huh? Which Eastwood movie? Who
was that?
Arlo was in an Eastwood movie?
Could be, but he was probably Eastwood's age, I would think.
No, he's not that old.
No, maybe. Well, I mean, he was in his 20s in the mid 60s, I would say.
Oh,
when Eastwood was probably in his 30s.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Probably. I just know these patches are cool. I'm digging
absolutely
these patches. These are awesome, you guys.
Nice. So there's that's your history lesson for 50 years ago today.
Wow. Hey, Laverna 595, welcome.
Laverna.
Laverna.
Krell
Bar. Arlo played at the hockey rink in your town.
I mean, he's played.
That's cool.
He plays coffee houses. I mean, which is really cool. I mean, and he's just a storyteller. And like I said, one of the first shows I worked, and I was like, I wasn't looking forward to it. There was no tech really involved. It was just one of the first shows of the season that I was working, and but it was a cool show, and the guy just told stories for half of it. Richie Havens as well, and and they were talking about Woodstock, and they were talking about all the '60s stuff. But
Richie Havens, I saw him at the was it Barnes? I saw them perform at the Barnes and Noble at Jack London Square in Oakland, California. That's where I saw him. He played, and then.
Yeah, they're still doing coffee houses, and they're still. I mean, as much I don't know. I'm sure they're well off, but they weren't they're not inaccessible. Put it that way. You can still go out and see, or within the last few years, you could go out and see an intimate show with Richie Havens or Arlo Guthrie or some of the other ones too. John Sebastian or the other one that you're friends with. Country Joe.
Country Joe.
Yeah, they're still keeping the legacy alive, though.
I don't know if he's still performing, but I'm Facebook friends with his son still, and so I see his posts and stuff. But
yeah, at this point, they're certainly getting up there, but they had an illustrious career.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off with Woodstock.
Renus, this jacket. This was a part of an unboxing I just did. With Hulu right here. Where is it? Handmaid's Tale.
That is a cool box. I mean,
TV
they definitely did all the graphics just for that box, and looks like a Star Wars kind of thing. But
I know this show must be pretty good. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. That's a cool box. And yeah, the jacket's awesome. It's hand painted. All this stuff.
You think they actually used like a brush, or do you think they splattered it on?
It's splattered.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Oh, oh yeah, you can. It's totally like splattered up. It's 80s.
Man, I gotta find some pictures of my old jacket. That thing was, man, it disintegrated pretty much. I mean, I think I maybe wore it like a year after high school, but that was it. It kind of, like any Levi's product, and this is a good thing. They fall apart really nicely, and you get like the wear on them.
Oh, I really don't wear jeans anymore.
Not so much anymore, but
but yeah, when I used to, like in high school and stuff, I mean, I had the coolest pants, all the wear that goes all the way down. Like, you guys see like these metal bands,
Joe Elliott,
in the 80s. Yeah, the Joe Elliott pants. Those are my jeans.
Yeah.
But mine, they wore naturally like that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I
I
wasn't creating that. And a lot of people would create that and do that, but mine would naturally do that because my pants would just fall apart.
That's right.
Oh,
look at your jacket. I mean, that's certainly a worn-in jacket, but it's distressed. It's not necessarily worn in. It's more distressed than on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think Howie's gonna go out. Is Howie all right?
He's mad because somebody else has to have dinner.
Oh,
he's mad about.
Yes, the Punky Brewster jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sensonic Resonator. Yeah, that guitar right there we go. That guitar right there. That one right there.
It's over that way, John.
Yeah. I showed that last night. Actually, I'll have a card right here. Actually, it's John Beale. Point up to the duck. There you go. There'll be a card right there on playback of last night's show. Even though I thought last night's show just sucked. I thought it was terrible.
But it was all right. We won't get into it, but I certainly had no problem. I jumped out for a little bit.
I wouldn't watch it again myself, but
yeah, Steve was having fun. Good to see him again.
Oh, Steve, he took over for an hour.
Yeah.
Steve, did you see that?
I was watching most of it.
Steve Anderson. He was. I'm like I gotta take Howie for a walk. I'll be back in half an hour. He's like, Johnny, don't worry about it.
I got this.
He's like, Johnny, I'm talking to the chat. Leave me alone. I come back and he's just like sitting here like just nonstop.
Well, that's what we got to do when you're off and it's just me, or if it's just one person out there. It's tough. You just ramble. That's all I do.
Yeah, like, Steve's awesome, man.
What can I talk about?
He's awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's the one that sent me the women's jacket, the Van Halen camouflage jacket that I wear with the patches on it.
It's a very cool jacket too.
It is. It's very cool. But it's a women's only jacket. You can get it from the Van Halen store, vanhalenstore.com. But I wear it and it's fine.
You're confident when you wear that kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Actually, I was at a grocery store one time and I was wearing the jacket and this older guy behind me, he's like, Van Halen? He's like, I used to play, he's like, I used to play golf with Alex Van Halen.
Wow.
That's what he told me. And he said this was back when like when they were like kids.
Oh wow.
Like either before like the band took off or something.
He was probably in that film that surfaced with Eddie playing football a couple of years ago. Remember that?
It was either golf or tennis. Maybe it was tennis, the guy said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the footage of Edward on the beach running playing
like 1972.
Football. Yeah. 72, cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was posted by one of the, I don't know if it was one of the guys in the video, but it was a family member of one of them. That's
that would make sure. Yeah, they found that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He found it just in a pile.
There's got to be more of those little gems out there. I mean, even just I'm sure his mom had home movies and stuff like that. That was the big thing in the 60s and 70s. You all had those. And I don't have my camera in front of me, but the little Super 8 camera.
Your Brownie?
Yeah, the Brownie or whatever. Mine was a Canon, but everybody had those. So there's all that Super 8 footage that nobody's seen. And thank you for Fresno Films, which was one of the, early adopters of that. And we got to see, if you haven't checked out Fresno Films on YouTube, some of the earliest Van Halen live footage.
Mhm.
All the 8mm, and it's in a if you shot it on a video camera in 1978, it wouldn't look any good. But the fact that they shot it on film, and you can upgrade that stuff nowadays, and it looks wonderful. And it's great that we have that.
I think it's cool that you can use an app in your phone.
Nowadays we can do we don't need any cameras or anything.
I've got the apps in my phone where I can do Super 8 footage. I can do I've got this app that I use where I can change the lens and the film and get all kinds of different.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays
stuff.
you can do all of that with the phone, and you can get a better,
I've been using that stuff for years. Years and years. And by the way, real quick, is it Soda? You can actually talk to Nightbot. Mention Nightbot in the chat. Nightbot will talk to you. Try it.
Just say Nightbot, shut up, right?
Yeah, do @Nightbot and talk to them, and he'll talk back to you. What else? Look at this. You guys are having fun with those commands. That's awesome. That's less work for us to do.
And call it if you want to leave a message for Johnny and have it heard over the air. Just let him know who you are, and there's the phone number in the chat.
See, look, Nightbot said, "What's up?" See?
No, he's like, "What's up? Why are you talking to me?"
Yeah.
And we got not only that, but the podcasts. How are those going, Johnny? You sent doing at least the highlights of the podcast?
Well, I'm not doing a highlight from last night because last night sucked. I should just delete last night. Although Steve Anderson was awesome last night, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only thing Nightbot says. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Someone's calling.
Somebody's
Take it,
calling
listen
here.
to it, and we'll see what. But what else? In any other questions in the chat? Let's give us a couple questions. I'm up for talking classical rock.
What's up, man?
What's up? You're on the air. Who is this?
This is Mr. Renus Pinkle.
Renus!
Mr. Pinkle. What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Not much, man. I am having fun. I am actually setting up my it's a 2012 vintage pacer. So I'm having now set up.
Whoa, that's cool.
Well, is it 2012 or is it vintage?
Hey, Soda.
It's 2012, but it's called the vintage.
Oh, okay.
Right.
It's called a vintage. It's supposed to look like a vintage or
Like,
an 80s,
yeah.
like an 80s Kramer.
Right.
What do you think of this jacket, man? Is this jacket cool?
It is awesome, man. Dude, I want one now.
Oh man,
Did you have one back in the day?
Did you
Renus?
have one? But did you ever have a jean jacket?
No, but I'm attempting to actually find one on the internet, but it looks like that you have to be selected or something.
Oh, for this? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some sort of limited. I don't even know.
Okay.
Howie pranced on the keyboard and it just showed up. You know? Or pounced. Howie pounced the keyboard. It just appeared.
Right.
He was actually hoping for the denim Speedo version for himself, but
Really?
actually,
Yeah.
maybe I'll put one of these patches on his pants. See his
There you
pants?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put this on.
What's it?
They are.
What does that say?
Praise be bitch.
Praise be bitch.
I'll put that on Howie's pants.
Howie's not a bitch. Howie's a dude.
I love it.
Wow. Awesome.
Thanks for calling, Renus.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks for calling, man. I hope you're having a great time.
Absolutely, man. Well, I will finish up the setup, and hope that you guys have a awesome show.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right. All right. See ya.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Renus Pinkle, everyone.
Yeah. Rena's Pinkle, everybody.
There's
Yeah.
Clayton
And leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up. We got 27 thumbs.
Please.
51 watching.
Clayton James in the house. Today is Straturday.
Clayton James Hicks, 1998 Hicks. That's right, man. Today is Straturday. That's right. That's what it is. Exactly.
It's Strum Day here, just about. I don't know.
Strum Day.
So Strun Day doesn't really work, so Strum Day works a little better. We'll call it Strum. But,
Man. Alex Radford, good to see you, man.
hey, Alex.
Yeah, everybody's
what
having
else?
a great time. Having a great time. You have to go out? I don't think he has to go out. He's just waiting for
Attention.
more. Yeah. Or Steinberger Day. Yeah. That's right, Clayton.
Steinberger Day, yeah.
Steinbergers.
Yeah, why didn't they ever? Man, they missed an opportunity there. They could have had guitars and hamburgers at the same time,
Uh-huh.
Steinbergers.
Well, they still could.
Like Wahlburgers.
Well, have you had one of those?
No, but they're in my area. I mean, there's like 5 of them within probably an hour from me. I'll have to check them out. So we've had 5 Guys here for a year that I haven't even checked out, and Chipotle. I'm just I'm stuck in my own favorite local restaurants that
You've never been to Chipotle?
No, and I love but I've got my mom and pop Mexican place right down the street. So,
well, I mean, you can't really compare the two. I mean, Chipotle really, it's not like they say they're authentic. Maybe they,
Right,
I don't know.
right.
I mean, it's not. It's not, but it's good.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I've got the authentic stuff, closer, so that's what I go to. It's just more accessible. It's easier. At some point, I'll go out there. I mean, yeah, there's all the kinds of new restaurants popping up around here. We haven't had like an Arby's. We haven't had an Arby's, and there's one that came up, in the last year. Or they're not
making new Arby's, man. Although, yeah, I guess
they're pushing Arby's big time on TV.
I guess, because they've got all the meats. Yeah,
their new campaign. Yeah, the meats.
Meats.
And what's the other one that it's the Hardee's and Carl's Jr. We don't have those out here either, but they have the ads. They run the ads, and it looks so good, but we don't have any of those. Sonic, none of it. We get the ads, but we don't. I mean, it may be closer to Boston, but I'm a half hour out of Boston, so
we have all that stuff here.
Yeah,
we have all that.
It's
stuff
around, but I don't. I'm so used to the good stuff that's much more less processed, less mass produced.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I go to.
All right, maybe he does have to go out.
Take him out.
He's. I mean, I don't think he does, but I think. Hey, Howie. I don't think he does, but maybe. Well,
Howard Peepee.
Maybe I'll take him.
Go for it.
Watch this. I'm going to disappear.
Bojangles bow time, Mr. Bojangles. Whenever I see Bojangles, I think of Saturday Night Live with. Was it Will Ferrell and one of the women on there? But they had their dog show, and it was Mr. Bojangles and the dog, Mr. Bojangles. I think he had like a party hat, and every time I hear that. But then Mr. Bojangles was a song too. Ever see the movie Scanners? I I'm not a big horror movie guy, but I'm sure I saw it back in the day, back when that's one of those sort of blockbuster or video rentals. You walk by it 50 times and then, all right, I'll check it out, and I'm sure I picked that up at some point, but I don't remember too much about it. But it had a great soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. Scanners. Was that the one that Megadeth played on, or one of those early kind of metal that had like a lot of metal soundtrack? Mr. Jingles. Ever see the movie Motel Hell? I have not. I don't know that one. David Cronenberg. That's another one. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago. Was that Scanners? Did David Cronenberg do Scanners? We were talking about David Cronenberg with Naked Lunch and Videodrome. So yeah, some of those really strange kind of trippy movies. Scanners is a Cronenberg masterpiece. I'll have to check that out again. Yes, Cronenberg did Scanners. I haven't, when DVDs first came out, I would buy, and you could get like the Criterion Collection stuff that had all the commentaries, and it had all the documentaries, and it had all the trailers and all that. And I had Videodrome, I had Naked Lunch. I didn't necessarily seek out the Cronenberg movies, but I definitely, thinking back now, I liked those. They were strange, but really cool, well done with, really cool special effects. And what was it? The Fly, was that with Jeff Goldblum? So when DVD first came out, and all those movies that you probably had seen at one point on VHS, but now you could see them in widescreen, and you could see them in higher quality with digital sound and such. So I always would look up the Criterion Collection of whatever they had. I pretty much bought all of it. I mean, I'd wait till they, I think when they first would come out, some of them would be like $50 for the set, but eventually you can, 10 years ago, you could get them for $10, and a lot of that Criterion stuff was really cool. And they had all the special features with the comment, and a lot of people don't like the commentaries, but I always, you don't watch. It's certainly the first time you watch it, you don't watch it with the commentary, but eventually you want to hear what they were thinking, filming those scenes and that kind of stuff. Fruitcake, you've been asking about my 78 project, and it's going well. I got the second coat of black on it. It's I'm ready to get the tape on it so I can get the white coat. So within the next week or so, it's going slow, but I'm not. My tendency is to kind of rush into these things and to just not take my time, and I want to take my time on it, and it's not necessarily on purpose, but I am taking my time with it, and hopefully within the next month or so, and the next week or so, I hope to have it taped up, and then the next month I'll get the. Not exactly sure what white to use. I used the Duplicolor black, which Dave recommended. I'm sure it's probably a Duplicolor white, but I'll get it taped up in the next week or so, and then I'll show you guys as soon as I get it taped up, and before I paint it white, I'll show you But I do have two coats of black on it, and it's looking good so far. James Gum. I'm a big Cronenberg, Kubrick, Kurosawa, Tarkovsky, Carpenter guy here. Criterion still puts out amazing stuff, and that's the way I guess they're sort of underground directors. Kubrick was, probably one of the best directors ever around, but he's not Steven Spielberg. He's not James Cameron. They made blockbusters where Kubrick really made art films, and he had his share of blockbusters as well. Spartacus, 2001 were certainly blockbusters, but Cronenberg did Stephen King's Dead Zone as well. Yeah, the Stephen King movies, great stuff. So who's that? Santa Cruz 3600 says, have you ever seen the documentary The Beatles' First Visit to the U.S.? I watched, Ron Howard just did the 8 Days a Week one that I watched recently. The one with the first visit to the U.S., they did, I don't know if I've seen the specific documentary just about that. I think that came out maybe 10 years ago, and it was like maybe one of the early sort of Netflix releases or online releases. I might not be thinking about the same one, but I know that the early Beatles documentaries that came out in the 80s and 90s, I was watching recently the Beatles Anthology, which is I think it was one of the major networks, CBS or NBC, put out back in the 90s, which was I think an 8-part, 1 hour, each episode was 1 hour. And that's the most extensive Beatles kind of documentary you're going to find out there. And then there were the ones that even came before that. John Lennon's Imagine was a great one. I've seen them all. I mean, honestly, I'm a rockumentary kind of anything that's been a rockumentary, I've seen it. I mean, and I hate, it just that's my kind of, that's the stuff I seek out and that I want to, see. Any rockumentary sort of documentary about rock stars and that kind of stuff. So I love that stuff. Not sure if you can even compare Spielberg and Kubrick. Of course, you really can't compare Spielberg and Kubrick. I mean, very different. Certainly influenced each other. I mean, you can see in something like Jaws, you can see the Kubrick or the Hitchcock kind of. The evidence that Spielberg really learned from the masters like Kubrick, but they are certainly different movies, and that's what I went to school studying film, and my major was in sound recording, but my minor was in film and video production. So I certainly, the crossover was like the film music was one of my favorite classes in college, University of New Haven. That was one of my favorite classes. Anything that had to do with film music, and there was a couple of them that we certainly studied. A couple of Kubrick films. We studied, like Hitchcock, and it was the first exposure I had to some of those really early. I think it was Hitchcock's Spellbound that had like the early electronic theremin music and like that kind of eerie, even Psycho, I don't know if they didn't really have electronic music in it, but with the Bernard Herrmann score with the what do they call it? Kind of atonal strings kind of music. And so yeah, we would delve into every aspect of how to score a movie, and not that I was ever anything at any point where I could certainly do that, but I mean the idea behind it and kind of what how a soundtrack can really make a movie or break a movie, like Star Wars. I mean, without that John Williams soundtrack, it's a very different movie. So we've got a lot of stuff going on in the chat. A lot of people talking. A lot of little questions coming along.
Man, you're right about the Star Wars thing, though, man.
Oh yeah, I mean,
remember the first trailer,
the 77 trailer, or the
very first
6 trailer, I think it was
the 76 trailer for Star Wars. Remember that?
And it didn't have any of Spielberg's music. Not Williams' music. Williams music.
It has the footage. It has no music, and actually, I think it did have music, but it wasn't.
It's a good trailer. I do like. It was a dramatic, and it kind of just had like that punctuating, like kind of beat going behind the dialogue and the little explosions and everything. It was well before they had the special effects done, and certainly John Williams' music.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that music definitely added a whole nother thing to it.
Whole nother level.
Yeah. You ready, Jay?
Jay is in the house. Nice.
He's in the what do you guys call it?
in the waiting room.
In the waiting room. All right, here we go. Everybody, it's Jay Haddon.
Jay Hannon, everyone.
Cracking one open, boys.
Did John Carpenter do Nightbot? Gary Tholander. The Nightbot movie.
I don't think Tholander's a fan. Right
Yeah,
now.
he's had a few things to say, but that's all right.
Of course, it's all right.
It's all good.
If
If you don't like it, get the crap out.
No, it's fine. Everybody's, doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody's welcome.
Let me pop the chat out here. What are you guys up to? I was falling asleep listening to John talk about. No, I'm joking.
Look, I know, I get it. I'm a movie geek and I love that stuff. But
No, that's fine. I'm just
I
busting.
could talk
balls,
for
man.
hours about that, man.
Just busting balls. No, I know it's the same thing. Like me and Johnny have talked about it. Like when when it's me, Johnny, and Dave, and Johnny and I start talking about like recording or producing and stuff like that, like music studio stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nesdal just checks out. He's just like he doesn't want to hear that stuff, which is fine.
Hey, I'll talk recording and producing. Like I was saying, that's what I went to school for. I mean, that's good stuff. I was at the intersection of where it was analog to digital, mid 1990s, and the first year at University of New Haven, we had they showed us the whole studio. We had a 24-track Tascam real 2-inch reel to reel that everybody was excited to use, and they had like a 1-inch 8-track and all the old analog stuff. But then my second year, when we actually got into the studio, it was the DA88s, the what was it, the Alesis, the digital stuff, the early digital, and so nobody touched the 24-track, nobody touched the 8-track.
You didn't touch this stuff?
Yeah, well, everything went kind of like that. Was like the go-to master. Like if you're gonna make a master, you put it on a DAT.
I've had this for years. It's never been opened. I've never used it.
Exactly.
Never
I've
used
got
it.
the high 8. I've got the old high 8 tapes that I used. That would be the DA88 tapes, which used or what was the Alesis one that
I don't know.
VHS tapes.
I think the Alesis stuff was like the first thing that our band, as far as like digital recording on digital, that was like the first thing. And
well, we had the Tascam 24-track that in the day, when they bought that new, it was probably a $50,000 machine. A 24-track 2-inch tape machine is going to be $50,000 in 1980 something. And then you get the D88s, which are 6 or 8-track machines, and they're like $5,000. So just the slash, I mean, and the fact that you could still get that quality with the early digital stuff, it holds up. I think there was several albums that were certainly recorded not that the master tracks were put down on like a D88 or something like that, where you could just link as many as you wanted. And you have 24 tracks with 4 of them, something like that.
Well, yeah, look at a lot of those older albums, like it used to say on the CD, like, recorded, mixed, and mastered, like AAD, like analog digital.
Right,
so
right.
Recorded, mixed, and analog.
It's got the whole the sequence of how they did it. AAD or ADA, whatever.
Yep.
If you're gonna buy a cassette, it would be ADA, something like that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I just saw. Where was it? I've got 3 computers in front of me. Holy crap!
I've still got some DATs and some high 8s that I can't play because I don't have one of those machines. It'd be fun to play around with some of those old tapes that I did in college. To remix them. I'm sure I could make a nice sounding tape out of them. Nice sounding recording out of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place here in Santa Cruz that has it's like a recycling place where you can drop off like clothes and books and whatever, but they do have like an electronics building, and you can walk in there and they have all kinds of machines like for
I love
sale
that stuff,
for
man.
like cheap.
Go on
Like-
eBay. I mean, you can get it, like I was saying, D88 for like $200, you know,
Mhm.
which is a full 8-track studio, you know, digital, but it's 25, 30-year-old technology. So I'm going to put my air conditioner on because I'm getting hot.
Why wouldn't you have it on all the time?
Well, it's loud. I don't want it to like, you know, back in the Hangout days, it would overpower and it would keep me on the screen, you know, if it was too loud.
Oh yeah.
We don't have to worry about that now.
Well, I can do that.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of that. It's all good.
I can't hear it. That's fine.
Good.
Gary Tholander said to don't mention the jacket. So I watched you unbox it.
It's a cool jacket, man. It's
Absolutely.
really
It looks
cool.
like
It's
it
really
looks like
cool.
something that you would have seen one of the like older like R&B chicks wear back in like the early 90s. You know?
Salt and pepper.
Yeah, it definitely it looks like I mean I like I said, I don't watch the show. What's it called? Handmaids? I don't watch it. I know of it. But yeah, the jacket definitely, well, here it is. I mean, it definitely looks 80s,
Yeah.
90s,
Late 80s, early 90s.
late
yeah.
80s, early. I mean, look, and it's hand
Handmaiden.
made. It's hand done. Like those splatters. I mean, you can feel them, and
Oh, never mind. I saw somebody wrote Packer tracks or something earlier. And I started chuckling when I read it. That was pretty funny.
What'd they say? Packer.
There's some things that get me sometimes, man.
TLC, yeah.
oh yeah,
Left Eye.
yeah. I like TLC.
I don't.
Yeah, I watched a what was it? It was some sort of history on hip hop and it talked about all those bands and how they started.
Bands?
Well, yeah, they're
Groups,
bands.
groups.
They're well,
Groups.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call them a band.
No, they're not a band. Bands
Well-
play instruments.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think in the chat, guys? What does everybody think? Do you have because I don't, it's not like I have a problem with it, but when I hear it, I'm like, that's not a band. It's not a band if they're not playing the instruments.
Well, what about the band behind them playing the instruments?
But that's not them though. They're just on the payroll. They're hired guns to play what was recorded in the studio.
They probably didn't even play on the studio.
And dude, and you guys know this. And everybody in the chat knows this too. A lot of those groups, because notice I call them groups. A lot of those groups, a lot of them were put together. Like it's just fabricated stuff. It's not real. They don't write their own music. Some of them do. I know there are some songwriters out there, but I'm just saying the majority of a lot of that stuff back in the day, like these groups were put together. Their songs were written for them. And they just had an image. A lot of the times, the image.
You can say that about a lot of rock bands too, though. You can say that about Bon Jovi was a band
rock groups
put together.
But, wait a minute. Yeah.
I mean, there's different, but the Monkees were a rock band, a rock band that was put together, and eventually they played their own instruments.
Yeah, in the beginning they didn't play.
Right.
Although some like Mike Nesmith did play, but
Mike and Peter were the two musicians.
And Peter, yeah, they were actually the actual musicians, I think.
But hey,
Well, Soda Pop, correct me if I'm wrong, because I usually am wrong. But he says, Jay, boy group or boy band? I think the reason why the term or the name boy band stuck is because it's just BB,
Yeah, that alliteration there.
Yeah.
That's alliteration, right? Alliteration.
I don't know. I'm agreeing with you because it sounds right. Sounds right to me.
I think so. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and JR, yeah, he's talking about Desmond Child and Bon Jovi.
there's a place for that stuff too. I mean,
the band that I was in, that Desmond was producing, that band was put together, and that was at the same time of those other groups coming out, the Backstreet Boys, Insane.
You were this close to being a boy band? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we were a rock band.
You got the jacket about 20 years too late.
Yeah, I should have had this then, But it was the same kind of deal where it was put together.
Well, I mean, and Desmond wrote some amazing songs too. I mean, geez.
Yeah, he was co-writing the songs.
Worked with amazing
and
groups and bands.
Like the image of the group at the time, he was telling us, like, I remember him taking me to the store to get new shoes. Because I would wear Converse.
It's all about the image.
I'd wear Converse, and I had this pair of maroon Converse sneakers, and I remember Desmond buying me a pair of just some new shoes, and he was like, "Say goodbye, Johnny," and he's holding up my shoes, and he goes and he drops them in the trash can. He's like, "Say goodbye."
I need to hear more about Desmond's story sometime. I don't want to, we don't need to talk about it now, but that's fascinating to me that you worked that close with him, and he he produced for you, right? I mean, is that what
he was the producer, manager, songwriter? Yeah,
and he's just, that's a name I've heard since the 80s anyway.
Did you know that he used to manage Steve Vai? Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
He used to, one of my nicknames, he would call me, well, we know Thomas McLaughlin is Little Stevie Vai. Right? But Desmond would call me
Little Johnny Beane.
Something some like mini Steve Vai. I was known as like the mini Steve Vai.
Hey, that's a good title.
Because somewhat of the way I played at the time. I played more in that style back then. I do all different things now, but it was that, and I think my look, the way I looked at the time, I kind of had like a Steve Vai look, which I'm looking at me now, you guys wouldn't believe it, but if you guys ever see the photos, the image of the
like a Steve Vai look or McLaughlin look,
like a Steve Vai look.
Okay.
I had like the long hair, and there was no beard. There wasn't this. It was just. I didn't wear the glasses on stage. The glasses, once we played, I was playing with, it was all fuzzy, yeah.
Oh, Fred, am I
on? But yeah, there's a Steve Vai album of him with all the paint, the silver paint all over his face. Alien
Love Secrets.
Alien Love Secrets.
Yeah, the EP.
That cover, that photo, that image, that was all Desmond's idea. Actually,
was that the one before Passion and Warfare or after?
After.
It was after.
What was before? Flexible? Was that the one that was before?
Yeah, Flexible.
That was the first one, right?
That was the one that was very Frank Zappa influenced, and you can hear it all over the record.
I remember I'm listening to that, and it took me a while to get into, but as soon as you start delving into it, you can hear the Vai in it, and the good stuff.
Yeah, because I didn't hear Flexible until after Passion and Warfare.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the, I was young too. I was probably, let's see, what year was that? 1990 or 91. So I was like 15, probably when I heard Flexible, and I was just like, what the heck is this?
Did he produce that?
It wasn't like Passion and Warfare.
Did he produce that entirely himself in his own studio or Zappa's studio? He might have done it in Zappa's studio.
I think Passion and Warfare was in his own studio, the Mothership or whatever. I don't know if somebody has the album out there or can look real quick. John Biel. John Biel. Can he?
I'll look for it.
I almost think it was produced by Steve Vai, but I could be wrong. Maybe there was somebody else in there with him.
I had it
back then. Before it happens to a lot of bands too. Like earlier in their careers, the record label will assign them a producer or something. But once they get a little bigger, you can say, "Nah, I'm producing it myself."
So Johnny, how did you get in touch with Desmond? How did Desmond find you, or how did you find him?
He found me.
A group you were with, or
no? They had the group, and they were looking for a guitar player. And this was my very first I had first jumped on. I was taking a computer class in Oakland at the time. My very first time getting online. You know, I didn't have an email. I didn't have a website. This is before all that stuff. And I put up an ad online. It wasn't Craigslist, but it was some sort of musicians networking thing. And I just put up an ad saying guitar player looking for a band. And I'm out here in Oakland, in Berkeley, you know, and I wake up one morning and I get a phone call from this singer of this band in Miami Beach, Florida. And I remember him saying to me, "Hey, you don't know me, but here's my name, and I'm working with Desmond Child." And I knew Desmond's name because of the Bon Jovi stuff.
Yeah.
Because of the Bon Jovi Slippery When Wet, You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer. You know, I knew his name because of that. And then the Aerosmith stuff too. Angel, Dude Looks Like a Lady, What It Takes. Those are all Desmond Child songs.
Permanent Vacation.
Permanent, yeah.
Did he do
that
album?
Yeah, all that stuff. And so I knew his name, and I was couch surfing. Yep. And yeah, basically they just sent me some, I think, some demos, I think, to hear some. And again, this is really the internet was around, but this is before throwing something up on Facebook or
so did they actually mail the stuff to you, the demos, or did you have to like go to the library? They emailed them, you had to go to the library.
No, it was all snail mail.
Wow.
It was all snail mail stuff back and forth. Now I didn't actually believe it was who he was saying he was. So I remember they're like, "Send us a tape," and I wouldn't send them a tape, you know, which I guess I should have, but I didn't. And I remember Desmond calling my house and saying, "Johnny, how come you're not?" What did he say? He's like, "Where's your tape? How come you're not showing your cards or something?" He's like, "Send us a tape." And so I think I ended up sending one, and then he sent me a plane ticket. I just packed my bag and flew out there, and it wasn't until I walked into his house and saw all the records on the wall, all the Bon Jovi and Hanson and all that stuff on the wall, until I'm like, yeah, I guess this is that guy, because nobody knew what he looked like at the time. It wasn't like the internet, you know.
Yeah, you weren't exposed as much to, you know.
No. And basically I hung out with them for a week, jammed. We had a rehearsal space in another guy's house, another guy that was playing guitar and touring with this singer. Her name is Billie Myers. She had a single at the time called "Kiss the Rain." If any of you guys know that song, she did Lilith Fair. She was one of the top acts on the Lilith Fair at the time. And so if you guys check out this song called "Kiss the Rain" by Billie Myers, that's a Desmond Child song. And the guy who wrote the song, who played on it, his name was Eric Bazillion.
He's a bazillionaire?
And yeah, he wrote "What If God Was One of Us" with John Osborne.
I remember that song.
And he was one of the Hooters. If you guys know the Hooters from the 80s.
Sure.
That's that song, and they danced, and we danced. So anyway, he was working with the band, and they were looking for somebody else to replace him. So basically, I replaced the guy from the Hooters. The guy that did
you replaced the big set of Hooters.
The guy that did "What If God Was One of Us." I replaced him. And One of Us. Yeah, that song, Santa Cruz. Yeah. So I was working with him. And the Van Halen connection to him was he won a Grammy for that song. And at the Grammys backstage, Eddie Van Halen came up to him and was asking him how he played the guitar on One of Us, because it's like a finger picking.
Was she the one with the she made the nose ring popular? Yeah,
the nose ring. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I thought, who was it from Skid Row? Rachel Bolan or whatever. Who was it?
He had the chain going down.
Yeah, the chain, the earring to the nose, or something.
Was that Snake Sabo? Was that?
It's one or the other. I forget who it was. And he still has it. I saw a recent picture. He still has it. I'm like, come on. I know it's like his claim to fame, I guess, at this point, because
I remember the SNL skit with them, and they were in like the bedroom, and they were like playing. And all I remember is they were just like waking the kids up, and like and he comes in, he starts smashing up the kid's bedroom. That's all I remember. It was Sebastian, and I think it was Snake. The bass was it? Is he the bass player?
I
Snake's
don't remember.
I think he's a guitar player.
Who's Leif Garrett? Because Jason Wade, what's up, Jason? He says, "Come on,
Leif,
man, you know you listen to Leif Garrett." I don't know.
Leif
like
Garrett.
a
He was
70s.
he was one of the '70s teen idols. Leif Garrett. He was one of the top singers at the time. Or
Along with who was the other one? The Sean Cassidy.
pop
Cassidy.
stars. Leif Garrett was one of those top guys.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They had it behind the music, very famous behind the music, where he kind of breaks down and he starts,
He became like a punk kind of guy, didn't he? With the bandana, like later on.
Yeah. I mean, he
Yeah.
He had a resurgence in the '90s where he was kind of like on some talk shows and stuff like that, and kind of along with the Osmonds and that kind of stuff.
Teen heartthrob, thrash metal says.
Exactly. Yeah. Andy Gibb.
Yeah.
Peter Frampton.
Yeah. One of the Gibb brothers.
Nesdall's in the house.
All those guys.
Dave.
Nesdall.
Speaking of heartthrobs, Nesdall's awake.
Hey Nesdall, I just got in here a few minutes ago, man. Why don't you 1:30.
He's chiming in with his favorite, David Cassidy. You got to give props to David Cassidy.
Yeah, all that stuff.
The variety shows of the '70s, like the Osmonds and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, gentlemen, now that Dave's in the house, I guess I was waiting for a good time to talk about this, but that guitar, see, man, everything's backwards, right there.
You just point both ways now.
Yeah, the guitar back there, the yellow one.
Hey,
Step one is completed. I ordered. Ow, I hit my toe on my wheel in my chair. Step one is completed. I ordered a pink DiMarzio clip lock, right? And I know, last night on the show, I had mentioned that I've been looking into getting bare knuckle pickups put in. But the problem is, I'll grab it. But the problem being is that bare knuckle pickups have squared tabs, right? Whereas these DiMarzios and the route for these pickups in this guitar, I mean, this thing's basically, it's hard to tell. You can't really see down in there that well. But hold on, I'll get my flashlight out. See, look at that. I mean, that's literally shoehorned in, right?
yeah, it's DiMarzio.
Yeah, but even the route, for the guitar is virtually made for these pickups. So anyway, I've been emailing back and forth with Tim from Bare Knuckle, who's been super awesome, and I sent him pictures of the route, and he's like, "Well," he goes, "what we can do is we can grind and file the tabs on our pickups so that they'll fit." So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna order some bare knuckles. So, and I'll show you guys. I did a little mock on this crappy program that I have, and I sent it to Johnny and Dave earlier.
I was going to show you what I found too, because I told you I thought that I had some pink knobs and a tip.
Yeah,
I was only able to find one pink knob.
That ain't gonna cut it, is it?
Gotta have two.
Unless I put a Tessie switch in for the tone, I could always do that. But look, here's a little mock-up I did. So
Cool.
I actually downloaded the photos from the Bare Knuckle website of. Put it close. Okay, now pull it back slowly.
That's a great color scheme, though. Yeah, that really looked pops.
I got to put on 3 pairs of glasses to see that.
Yeah, man. Blinded by the pink. So I'll obviously put the switch tip and the knobs will be pink as well. And then I'm thinking of changing the truss rod cover. I'll get a pink truss rod cover as well.
There you go.
To kind of balance it out,
Oh, and you got to get a new logo in pink.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh.
I was telling Dave this.
Is the headstock pink? Yeah, the headstock's pink, right? I mean, the yellow. The headstock's yellow, right? Yeah.
Headstock's yellow, so I can get a Ibanez decal and almost make it like a drop shadow. You know what I mean? Get a pink Ibanez decal or logo.
Oh, you need pink tuners too. You need a pink Floyd on that, man.
Pink hardware, absolutely. Pink frets,
Pink everything up.
pink strings.
Well, dude, I was playing this guitar when you guys started the show, and it's great, man. It's rock solid, stays in tune, feels awesome. The action is killer, and I mean, it's just awesome. I love it.
That's insane. Man, again, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations on that again. Cool.
And again, thank you to the anonymous person that, I know who sent it, but thank you again.
Absolutely. Good stuff.
I see my name tagged up here. Let me go through real fast.
So I only found one pink knob.
Mhm.
I found yellow knobs and a yellow tip.
So it'd be camo. Or are they yellow, or are they the like neon yellow?
I'll get them. They're right there.
Because it doesn't show up on here. I mean, I know everybody's watching this, and that guitar probably just looks yellow to you. It's not. It's neon yellow. It doesn't, for some reason, doesn't pick up over on this.
So here's the pink that I found.
Ooh. It's like a
Kiesel pink.
Come on. All right. So yeah, there it is.
Mhm.
It's pink, but
but it's like a marshmallow pink.
Yeah, and then this is the yellow that I found.
Power Puff pink.
Okay, see, is there any neon to it, or is it's just yellow?
What was that? It's darker than the picks that I got. Or is it? Yeah.
Lighter.
Is it lighter?
Paler.
Paler? Is it pinker? Is it pinker?
Looks pretty close.
So anyway, I figured though what I would do with these, like if you don't want these,
no,
I'd throw them on my Kramer, on my maroon red Kramer. I'll throw these yellow knobs on that.
What's on there now? Just black?
And see what that does. It's not even yellow, huh? That's not.
It's yellow. It's yellow.
It is yellow. It's the same thing though. Like you can't tell.
No, you can't.
It looks like the same yellow as that guitar behind you, the acoustic.
Yeah, like how can I mean, if I show it like with this,
yeah,
like it's
I think there's something in the feed, like however this is broadcasted. There's a certain spectrum of like colors that don't get
right,
don't translate well.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's hard to see because the light, my light is making a glare on it. Anyway.
Let's see. Renus Pinkle seems to like that with the pickups, the pink pickups. The dog pile, what color are those pickups? The ones that are in it obviously are black, but the ones going in, if you go to Bare Knuckles' website and just go to the pickup builder and choose you can choose the color for each bobbin or whatever, and the pink color is right there. So you can go see it. And it is way better than that certain guitar company POS that you're talking about. Yes, it is. Salmon pink, yep. And Dave says, yeah, those won't fit on my guitar because don't they have different what is it called?
Depends on what kind of pots are on it.
Yeah, I think it's the I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, if an Ibanez comes with the metal knobs, those are different because you can screw them into the posts.
Mm-hmm.
What's on it now? Is it the metal chrome?
Yeah, and I'm not I like them, but not with this guitar. Like I don't think this. I love the what the heck, Cosmo Black hardware. Love it, absolutely love it. But I'm not a fan of the knobs on this. I think if they were going to go with these type of knobs, they should have went black. But hold on, I'll take it off. I'll show you the.
Well, that's all the stuff that's customizable. You.
Yeah, and that's part of the fun of it too.
They expect you to do that, that kind of stuff to change it out.
Here's the knob. You knob. And then here's the
Post.
post. Oh, God. Yeah, you can see that,
Yeah,
right?
you can see it, sure. I mean, I'm sure they make Fender style knobs that fit on that too.
I mean, if I'm going to be taking it to somebody
Gotta
to
be
have pickups put in.
specific as to what the back of it is, you know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You have to screw it in a certain way so you don't bend the shaft.
Don't want to bend the shaft.
All right. So this is what I did. It's kind of cool. It's all right.
Oh yeah, yellow and red.
Yeah, just got to get it restrung.
Yeah. Well, because I tore the bridge off it to put on the David Ennis Wolfgang.
You ripped off the strings.
So this is the bridge from the Wolfgang, which is on this one now. But yeah, it's like
Are they
yellow.
just held on by the magnet?
The strings?
Strings, yeah.
No, they're still on.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the magnet in this pickup is like hell of freaking, like it's holding them. It's definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's what John was saying.
Yeah, it sticks.
Well, put them on the right pole. Oh, there's no poles on it.
They stick right on. No, it's the freaking
the bar.
X2N 1979 X2N. So anyway, there's the pink. No, what am I saying? There's the yellow knobs. I'll take a picture. I'll put a picture in the Discord in the Kramer section. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll change this. This is a little too beefy, you know, for this. Maybe if I got like a yellow, put a yellow pickup in there or something.
Yeah,
You know?
that'd be neat.
Sure.
Yeah, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. Soon, iHeartRadio.
Man, I wish this showed up the right color, man. I really do. Because that's what I was thinking. If Bare Knuckle wasn't able to do anything about, you know, fitting one of their pickups in here or two of their pickups in here, I was going to be like, man, if I have to go with DiMarzio, which, you know, I love DiMarzio pickups, we all do, but they don't have pink, and that's what I want to put in this guitar. So I was like, man, if I can't get the pink Bare Knuckles, and DiMarzio doesn't have pink pickups, or pink 7-string pickups, I'm sorry, then do I do red DiMarzios? But the fact that it is neon yellow, if it was just regular yellow, red would be awesome. But it's neon yellow, and it needs the hot pink. Needs it. It's got to be.
Mm-hmm. But there's got to be a pickup company out there that makes pink.
Well, don't they just make the
7-string.
plastic tops to a 7-string
They're
pickup?
glued on. I mean, you know, I'm sure if worse came to worse, you know,
Somebody could 3D print that kind of thing, you know?
I have no idea, but I'm not getting into that. But
David,
I know
right? Isn't that what David does?
there's a pickup company called Instrumental Pickups. They make hot pink 7, 8, and I think even 9-string now. It's like Jesus Christ, you know.
Wow.
But yeah, I actually called DiMarzio, and I'm like, man, come on, you guys are killing me. If they have their 6-string pickups in every single color they make.
Do you think 8 strings are more popular than 7 strings nowadays?
No.
Okay.
No way.
I honestly, I don't know. That's not anything I'd follow, but I didn't know.
Well, is it most 7-string players don't want pink accessories?
7 strings were so 90s, and then 8 strings became the 2000s, and I guess 9 strings are 2000s.
Well, obviously, it's not going to be as popular, but I think with DiMarzio, now I could be wrong here, but I think with DiMarzio, the reason why they have a lot of the fun fluorescent colors are for the gem guitars, right? And the only 7-string, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I believe the only 7-string production universe, or even RG, you know, that has had any kind of funky pickup color was the black and green universe that had the green pickups. So I think if Vi came out with a universe that had hot pink pickups in it, obviously DiMarzio would have to make them. You know, because I think red and yellow red and yellow, I think, are the only two colors they make in 7-string.
Nesdal just messaged you the knobs.
Oh. Ooh. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at this. Look at this, boys. Yeah. That might actually make the look of the pickups look dull if I get the
That is a hot pink.
You're like, those are pink? Those are red.
They have more of a red tint on the screen than.
Is that on his Ibanez? His
No, these are for sale.
What's his
It's got 3. Obviously I don't need 3, but whatever. Oh yeah, here's a normal picture of crap. Here we go. Yeah, but these are the picture, it's the way it's coming across, definitely more red.
Yeah, they definitely are very red, but
not on the real picture that I'm looking at. They're definitely just a hot pink. But that's what I want too with the black letters and numbers. You know, because the pickups that I'm getting have black poles. Thrash Metal mentioned new metal with 7 strings in '99, but no, there was Korn. Obviously, they started like the heavy metal guys.
The 8-string. They were the 8-string. They started. Didn't they play 8 strings a lot?
No, they still just play 7s, but I mean, they used them on their first album, which came out in '94. Meshuggah used 7-string guitars. I think their first album came out in '94, '95, or something like that.
Well, when I think of 7 strings and when they first came out, I think of Vi.
Of course.
Yeah. Did he play a 7-string on Passion and Warfare? He did, didn't he? Yeah.
And not the one you think either. I believe it was the polka dot black and green universe that he put. That's the 7-string that he used on that album.
What about a hot rail pickup?
It's not wide enough, right?
They make a 7-string hot rail?
And it would have to be specific 7-string, right?
Would it?
Nesdal, Dave said send him the. Want me to send it to him?
Well, it depends on what size bridge you're using, I guess. I mean, if it all comes down to the.
Because I would think a hot rail. I mean, because there's no pole pieces.
But dude, the string space and
the string spacing, you got an extra several millimeters anyway.
Just the low B and the high E, we just won't hear it that well. That's all.
Yeah.
Copy.
Meshuggah is the 8-string. They're 8 strings, right?
Yeah. Now they've used 8 since what 2000 or something. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of. I mean, obviously some of the stuff is great, but I think they've gotten a little too, slow and just sludgy and
it's sloppy. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. After a while, it's kind of sloppy sounding.
I wouldn't say slop, but just the single string riff stuff. Johnny, I'm sending the link to you like a big idiot.
When you just store, I mean, on an 8-string, what's the lowest? It's still a low B, right? Or you can turn it down to
no,
8.
it's a G or a G sharp or something.
So it's an extra low string.
Yes.
There's not I thought 8 strings had an extra high string, but they have an extra low string.
Dude, when I first saw the ad in Musician's Friend or AMS or whatever it was, the first like music magazines that I used to get, when I saw Vi's universe in there, I honestly thought that it was an extra, like a high A.
Me too. That's what I thought.
I thought it was. I had no idea. And at the time, I was like, I was already playing like heavy metal stuff. And I wonder if I would have known back then that it had an extra low string, a low B. I wonder if I would have been like, oh, I'm saving up all summer, all year to get a 7-string because
that appealed to you more that it was a lower string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of I was like, because I remember looking at the magazine thinking, why would you need another high string? Wouldn't that hurt your fingers? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Whoa, someone's out in the backyard.
No.
Hey, Dave.
I just have the lights out. How you guys doing?
Good.
I got to keep it quiet because Desiree's sleeping.
I'll make sure. I'll call your house. Right now.
Everybody, ring Dave's doorbell. Wow.
Renus Pickle says the 8 string is so low your dog will crap on the carpet. 7/8.
Well, you know what the problem with the low string, and it's I don't forget if it's a G or G sharp or whatever, but like a normal power chord, you can't play it. It just sounds like mud. So that's why when you listen to Meshuggah and a lot of these other 8-string guitar players, a lot of the riffs on that low string are just single note riffs. And to me, that gets a little monotonous after a while. It really does.
It's like distorting a bass. If you're getting into real bass territory with such a low string, and distortion on a bass, it has its place, but it gets too muddy. It definitely.
Well, I love me some distortion, especially in like heavy music. I love me some distortion on the bass. I love it.
Not much of a fan myself, but it has its place. It does have its place.
Yeah.
Dave, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Thank you. Same here.
The Buddy Guy signature.
Yeah, Renus Pickle has nothing better to say to me.
I know, right? That's
every show.
He called up earlier.
I barely see it.
He called in.
We talked to Renus. He was doing all right tonight. He's a good guy.
Oh, that's too funny. I barely see it, but it's there. It's good.
Cliff them all. That's right. Cliff them all.
So what's going on, man?
Nothing. Can't you see my eyes? They're like slits tonight.
Yeah, I'm tired too, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
I can't. It's pouring out over here, and just can't get to sleep yet. So I figured I'd come into the living room and watch you guys. And
I know. I think we're getting the storms you got last night, Jay. I think they came up the East Coast because it was thundering and pouring rain earlier tonight.
Thunder and lightning, very, very frightening.
That's right.
Well, it was still raining here today, man. It's like clockwork. If it's raining out, I'll wait for it to stop a little bit. I'll go to walk the dogs. The second I open the door to go outside, and then my one dog, Tyson, the golden Australian Shepherd mix.
Jay, we need to meet your dogs. We've never met your dogs.
He'll go outside in a tsunami and he'll love it. Whereas Joey, the little dog that thinks she owns the planet, if it's drizzling outside, she's like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. So I have one dog that wants to go out and one that doesn't. So.
By the way, just to make something clear, this is not the same shirt I wore last night.
It was the one that was on the couch.
Yeah, he sent me two, and I was, I had no shirt on earlier because I just came from the bedroom. So I was like, before I asked to go on, let me see if I have a shirt in here, and I just grabbed one. So.
We were all worried about that. We were like, geez, Dave, you must stink.
That's my days off. I don't really care.
I hear you, man.
Oh, man. Jason Wade. Hey, good to see you.
Josh's in the house. She says hi. Looks good, Dave.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you, Jasco. Thank you for the shirts.
Josco, thank you, man. Thank you. I saw your message earlier, man. Thank you so much. I'll send you out a guitar pick or picks on Monday. Man. Thank you again so much. Janice, no, I haven't yet. Although I have a feeling these guys will be bored to sleep if I do that. I've got some software I was going to demo.
What kind of software?
QLabs. QLabs. It's
does it record? Is it recording software or?
It's not. Can you record with it?
I've heard of it. I don't know.
I've never recorded with it, but it's used to queue up. Let's say like sounds and sound effects. So I could have everything queued up on my Mac here, and let's say like instead of like doing this, here's what I talked about earlier. Instead of saying, "Hey, jump into the Discord and doing this, I could actually have that sound queued up on my computer, and I can just hit a space bar and it'll play it.
Well, that's no fun.
No,
That takes the fun out of it, doesn't it?
but it's hey, Dr. Jimmy, stuck at Taco Bell, man.
In the bathroom,
Oh, God.
a little too much Diablo sauce.
I heard they just came up with something. Dr.
Don't
Jimmy,
they come up? Oh, don't they come up with something every week, like a new?
I heard
Taco Bell
something
item?
just came out. Some new something just came out over there. I heard.
Let me guess. They put chicken in a taco shell again, or like a?
Oh man, that's awesome, man.
Ugh.
I dig that. And yeah, Mike needs Mike. What was that stuff you gave me last night? I got your message too, right? You sent me a message as well, I think. Was that you? I got requests for guitar picks earlier, and so I'm getting like I think. Anyway, as far as Starfleet Project, oh yeah, man, I got that on.
You have
I got-
vinyl, don't you?
I have it on vinyl. I got it on CD in '92, actual CD. Like I have or had an official CD of that, which doesn't exist or didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You
In
know.
'92, yeah. I mean, that
In
was,
'92, it was
like you got it burned or anything.
It was no, yeah. It was like a bonus disc with a Brian May single from his album called like something light, Back to the Light or something. And the bonus disc was the Starfleet album
cool.
on CD.
And there's
So-
definitely there's definitely some good tracks on there. Some great jams with Ed and who else was on that? Brian May, Ed. Who else played on that, Johnny? Do you know?
Phil Chen was the bass player, I think. And actually, my friend Mike Gutierrez jammed with him at the NAMM show one year. He jammed with Phil Chen, I think.
Cool.
I think. Who was the drummer on that? John B.O. Why are you the one asking the questions? You're
Yeah.
What? Just
Yeah,
want me to go to Wikipedia? Everybody's
just
got
turn
Wikipedia.
around.
Everybody's got Google.
Just turn around.
Hey, Jasco Plumbing Supply has a good question. He says, putting together a parts caster, had my son help. He drilled right through the headstock. Any way to cover that up?
Yeah, just dowel it.
Sure.
Put a dowel in it.
All right. It was drummer Alan Grazer of REO Speedwagon and session keyboarder Fred Mandel.
Howie's brother.
Like you said, Phil Chen was on bass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's some cool pictures of them. There's some cool. Actually, there were some just unearthed studio pictures of them. Did you guys see those? Of them in the studio recording.
I've seen some of the ones that have probably been out for a while. But
Yeah.
that was for a TV show, wasn't it? The Starfleet Project was a TV show, wasn't it? Or Starfleet?
It was a show called Starfleet over in Japan, and it was one of those shows that was like the Godzilla type stuff where it's like a guy in a suit,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And these were
Just like the cover. I mean, you look at the cover, and that's like
that's the show.
like
That's
a
the show.
thing. Yeah.
And yeah. And the Starfleet theme that was actually used in the show. Like that was the beginning and maybe the ending of that show was that actual song. Although I think it was a different recording. I don't think it was the same recording with Eddie. I think it was different. Actually, John, if we look it up, we can put it in the Discord because I've seen it. It's been on YouTube. I've seen it. Is that the bald guitar guy?
The keyboard player.
Oh, you're thinking Jan Hammer. No, that's a different guy. That guy?
Or
Tony Levin.
Tony Levin. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
He plays bass, not guitar.
Yeah, but he's
Right.
the bald guy who
He plays
stick.
He plays the
Chapman stick.
Chapman stick too. Yeah, you're thinking about Jan Hammer who did Miami Vice.
Mhm.
Miami
Who
Vice theme.
Ed played with him in the Les Paul tribute, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's the dude that's going bananas with him, doing the
Mm-hmm.
the
Yep.
shuck and jive.
Yep.
Another
He-
great. I mean,
Yeah, he did Miami Vice, man.
Doing the
That guy.
Hucklebuck. That's Jan Hammer in that?
Yeah.
Doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Short, fat, bald guy.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He's still around. He's still doing stuff.
Hey, Dave, did you check out that album I was telling you about earlier today or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
In fact, I don't even. Oh, which one was it?
Nilly Brosh.
That's right, Nilly Brosh. You know what? Let me. I don't even have. My phone is in the bedroom. I don't even have it. I can't.
I'll just take a
Oh.
screenshot. I'll take a screenshot.
Should we call you?
Johnny, if there was a way for me to get to you right now,
Johnny's already got.
Oh man.
I would climb through the wires.
Come out the microphone.
Oh my god.
No, you come out of the jacket pocket that you unboxed today.
Oh, he'd come out of the box. Yeah, this jacket's awesome, you guys. It's really cool.
Renus Pinkle saw Def Leppard last night. No shit.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I did today? I went to my local. We have a
Video store?
no, no.
Radio Shack.
Those are all closed, right?
Yes,
Brick and mortar Radio Shacks.
they're
are
all
gone.
closed.
Circuit City.
No,
Those are closed too.
Lowe's.
Nobody beats the Wiz.
Blockbuster.
no, it's not a store. I'm trying to think of the place though.
Portal
Hooters.
Potty.
Forget it. Forget I said it.
Well, come on, spit it out.
He said it, but we talked. Someone talked over. It. Not me.
No, I know. I can't. I can't think of the name of the place now.
Did you see that Adam was at Music Zoo?
Yeah. I was around there just before he got there. I wasn't at the store, but I was there. I was around there. We went for a ride we went all over the island today.
Mm-hmm. In
Isn't
the
that-
chat. In the chat. What do you think he's trying to spit out?
You'd never know.
His local what?
His local what?
Taco stand.
No.
Pornhub.
Forget it. Just forget it.
Chipotle.
If somebody gets it, I'm going to giggle my booty off.
No one is ever gonna get it.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you said it, but we didn't
What,
hear.
what did it have
No,
to
I
do
didn't
with?
say it. I didn't say it at all because I the name of the place just left my brain.
What kind of place was it?
It's a
Good-
it's a
good ear.
museum. It's a museum. It's like
You finally went?
no, not that, not the Met.
'Cause,
No,
man,
we didn't go to the Met.
You have a month left to get over there,
I
man.
know. We went to there's a museum here in town in Glen Cove. It's like a American Indian type museum. Garvey's Point Museum is what it's called,
There you go.
and it's very cool. It's all about Indians on the Native Americans
There we go.
from Native Americans from
We like that better.
the early times, hundreds of years ago, when the mastodons, big, those big elephants and all that, when that was all here, Ice Age type stuff.
Just 100 years ago, huh?
More than 100. I'm tired, man.
I know. Me too.
Alone.
Man.
Pre-Columbian.
Yeah. So anyway, at the gift shop, I bought some cool things. I bought these fossilized shark teeth.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
As you can see, I have one coming out of my thumb.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You poked yourself.
I used the wrong thumb. No. There. Let's see.
That's like in Creep Show.
Yeah, I have 3 of them. They're pretty cool.
Remember
And
Creep
they're-
Show? When
They're real teeth that were fossilized, and they come from this one is not a great white, but most of them came from either great white sharks, hammerheads, bull sharks, lemon sharks.
Baby sharks.
No, not baby sharks. No,
Baby shark. This is the
Baby
song.
Beluga? Oh.
no, it's right
okay.
here. No. You can't break a fossilized tooth. But anyway, it was kind of cool. It was a small place. It took us about 25 minutes to walk through the whole thing, but it was really cool.
What kind of stuff they have there? It was
It was all about different rock formations, fossils. They had
Rock groups.
these little like behind glass. They had these little models of how these native
dioramas, like kind of
how they would hunt, how they would cook, how they would eat. They actually had a burial ground, like a little model of a burial ground, and how they would bury their dead. And there was at least 1,000 different arrowheads and spearheads, but real ones that were used back then that they had found, because a lot of this the property was owned. It was inhabited by these Native Americans, and if you go on any of the trails, you could find an arrowhead. So there were thousands of them behind glass, like real ones. It's amazing.
That's
Amazing
cool.
stuff.
I love that stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, me too.
Certainly before any of the European explorers came over here.
Yeah.
The original Native Americans.
Yeah.
Pre-Columbian, that's what they call it. Pre-Columbian. Pre-Clovis. Clovis was the earliest. 13,000 years ago, the Clovis people.
Mm-hmm.
First American inhabitants came through the Bering. What do they call it? The ice-free corridor.
Right.
The Ice Age. I know my history. That's all good stuff. That's all good stuff.
Renus Pinkle wants to see my hammerhead. It's more like a portobello mushroom.
No, none of us want to see that one. The tooth is cool, but
yeah.
Hey Dave, I finally got. Speaking of hammerhead, I finally got the tremolo arm in.
Oh, you mean the chrome one that I was supposed to send you? You got one?
No, I'm still waiting on that one.
Yeah,
I have a rubber handled screwdriver, a Lennox. Lennox, I'm coming for you. I have a Lennox Lewis screwdriver with the rubber. So I just
like a rubber mallet.
Tapped it. Mm-hmm. Now it's like buck tight. I don't think I'm getting things.
It ain't coming out. Now it ain't coming out.
It ain't coming out.
I know how you feel.
But I was telling the guys before you got on that, I mean, the guitar, I was playing it, before I came on here, and it's awesome guitar. It really is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm glad you got it.
Me too. And I'm really surprised. I wouldn't say surprised, but I should be surprised considering, my luck lately. But I'm just so overwhelmed at how great of a guitar it is. It'd be cool if it had those fret markers, though.
Thanks for lending it to me.
Hey, Ibanez makes a great guitar.
Yeah, it's cool. I finally got that switch cap that Tessie gave me on here. But so now the switch cap looks brand new, and the pickups are all worn out. They're all faded.
Mm-hmm.
Are they faded, or is that just the?
No, they're faded.
They're faded.
Yeah, this guitar is from 1988. So,
and those are original, huh?
Yeah, everything except the switch cap is original. Well, and this tremolo arm itself. This is one of those bigger
carbon
ones. Yeah. It was the same thing. Every time I put one of these in a guitar, because I have 3 of them with this arm in it now, you have to bang them in because they don't, and they'll never come out. It'll never come out. It hardly moves.
Yeah, that one's buck tight, man. Buck tight.
I'd rather. Well, that's why I have gaff tape on mine. Geez, because I can't stand like the floppy bar. I just, I can't tighten it anymore. It's as tight as it goes. So I get use a little gaff tape to.
Well, you can put something in the hole and then put the bar.
Kind of push it. And I did it with the same on my Rich too. I did the same thing. I think I got gaff tape on there.
Renus Pinkle, yes, you can install a Floyd Rose on an Ibanez RG. It's been done. A buddy of mine has an original Floyd Rose on his white Gem 7V, I think it's called, right? But I don't know why you'd want to. I think the edge system is much better on these guitars than a Floyd.
Yeah, heat shrink would work. I should try that.
And Jay,
yes,
it's black. It's not pink.
I know.
It would look cool if it was pink.
What, yours is? It would look.
Dave, though, hold on. I'm gonna hold. I'll
Give me
show
1
mine.
second. Guys,
I'll
just
show
give me 1
mine,
second.
too. I just really like the old style Ibanez logo with the. Here, so show yours again. Oh,
He left. Oh, hang on.
Jay left too.
Hang on. There he is. There he is. I think yours would look cool with a pink.
Was it Prestige?
yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying. Did Dave really leave
Yeah, he left.
on purpose?
He said he'd be right back.
He said he'd be right back. I think
Well, being an Ibanez fan,
his phone went off and somebody woke up.
For as long as I've pretty much played guitar, I love the old school logo with the whatever the little swoop V thing is.
Yeah,
I love that. That's cool as hell. So I'm gonna try to find.
my guitar has the original Ibanez logo on it, though. The Ibanez that I have
The
from
70s,
from
70s
79.
kind of.
I have the 70s logo on mine.
So I would love to find because this Ibanez logo is smaller than the older ones, but I would love to find that even like if I could just find that V swoop thing in pink and put it.
I kind of like that. Just the plain Ibanez. Oh,
Look at that gorgeous.
Renas, come on.
Look at that neck. I've showed Dave before close up too, but beautiful.
you don't have to tell us that, Renus. Just take care of it and join us later on.
No, he was talking about Nesdal.
Oh, between Renus and Mad Dog, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I agree though that Ibanez logo. That's like, it's a classic look. I mean, that's the look you want when you think.
I like that. I wouldn't change
this
that.
one or the
Yeah, I wouldn't change that. Well, in my opinion, I wouldn't change
the other one.
yeah.
The other
Especially
one.
like for because this is I would consider this like a shredder guitar,
Mhm.
So I prefer that V thing. It adds. It's like a race car, like a racing stripe type of thing. Like, oh yeah, this is badass.
You need pink racing stripes on that guitar now, man.
Yeah. So what if I just put a? Never mind.
I'll send you a spoiler for your car too.
Thanks.
I've always wanted a guitar with racing stripes. I've never had one. I've always wanted one.
Well,
Racing stripes or like
Like,
there you go.
binding is good. Well, yeah, there you go.
Oh, there it is.
Stripes.
There it is. Yeah, that's right, Renus.
Is Dave frozen?
No.
No, he's there.
So what were you going to say to me?
Well, I was going to tell you to hold your headstock up, so you could see the difference. But you see how much bigger his actual Ibanez, like the letters are, than mine.
Yeah, his takes up almost the whole headstock.
Yeah, like 3 tuning pegs. Mine's like,
Oh, you took off the what do you call
Well,
it?
I tightened the truss rod slightly tonight.
Truss rod. Didn't you have it on earlier tonight? No.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
thought you
took it off before I got on the show.
No, you had it. We saw
You
it.
had
You
it
had
on
it on.
earlier.
No, you didn't.
Because
I'm
we
seeing
said
things
we
because I thought you did. Too.
yeah, because we said you need a pink truss rod cover on.
Yeah,
that
I
too.
was showing you the picture of the guitar on the phone.
Oh, okay.
That's
There you
why.
go. Damn. Thought I was seeing things.
I thought I was out for a split second. You had me thinking like, what did I like just miraculously like do it in like 5 seconds? Did I not? What the hell's going on here?
Oh, man.
And just the way this guitar, I mean, we've all talked about, going to a music store and playing a guitar, and sometimes you don't even have to plug a guitar in.
I never plug them in.
You'll pick it up and you just strum it, and you're like, either the thing is dead,
Mhm.
whereas there's like no resonance, or you pick one up and you just strum a chord, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and this thing sings, dude. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what you need. You just need it to resonate acoustically, because if you throw your own guitars together, like I've done this for so many years, I can, if I plug a guitar in or whatever, I can just throw a different pickup in there and know that I can make it sound better than it does, or whatever.
We got to get John BL to swap out some. Just take one pickup, Get one pickup for one of your guitars.
Well, I'm
Swap
still
it out,
working
and you'll be
on the
like,
78.
you'll be like, oh shit, I gotta start swapping out more pickups because
But I don't really like a hot pickup though. I
you don't
like
have
I
to get a
said,
hot pickup.
I play with
A hot
mostly
pink pickup?
just a, I mean, you know, what is it? The more windings, the hotter it is. Basically, I mean, the more windings, the hotter
Mhm.
the pickup will be. So, I mean, I'm
Get like
definitely
a vintage pickup or something. But I'm just saying, like for the most part, you know, you're buying a guitar. The pickups that come in a lot of these guitars.
well. Once my 78's in good shape and I'm ready for a pickup, you know, in a couple months, I'll definitely
Pariah?
put a lot of thought into it. I'll put some thought into it.
You got to put a pariah in that bad boy.
Well, I'll take the recommendation. Isn't there a sort of just a Frankie pickup that
Yeah.
that they
You got to
sell?
play through a real amp though, too, man.
I don't very often, unless I'm jamming with someone. I mean, it's a couple times a year that I'm pulling that amp out. Mostly, I'm just with the headphones and the pedal board. But
Imagine if somebody was switching pickups out and they didn't even plug in at all. They're like, huh, like this one? Eh.
I had a friend who would religiously he'd play, you know, without an amp, and he'd always turn up the volume on it, and I'm like, why are you turning
Yeah.
up the volume knob?
I do that too.
Because it's
I do that too.
he actually thought it did something. I mean, I love you, man, but
Well, usually it's just a
we gave him
habit.
shit for that. It's like, yeah, it's just a habit, but it doesn't
Well-
do anything to an acoustic, an unplugged guitar.
Do air guitars have knobs?
Yeah, I mean,
When you
I
play air
guess they
guitar,
do.
you turn.
You got to turn the knob up first, so you're hearing.
You have to, right?
Nothing there, yeah. Can't hear anything.
You got to tune the guitar too before you strum it. The air guitar,
Mhm.
right?
No, air guitars should always be in tune. Well, if you don't want a hot pickup, Mad Dog says don't get a Seymour Duncan Invader. Because that's like one of the hottest.
No, I mean, and I know there's
And that pickup sucks too.
Mm. Not if you're like, you know, heavy duty metal guy.
But I mean, if you're looking for that the sound, and you can always, you know, add a pedal, or I mean, but I mean, do you want to add a new pedal? Do you want to install new pickups? I mean, there's different ways to go about it. I mean, any which way, a new head, you know, how do you want to get that really hot sound? If you want it, you know, directly from the pickups, yeah, that's one way to do it. If you want to get you know, a metal zone or something like that, pedal, you can do that. If you want to get a you know, a 5150 head, you can go that route, or a Marshall. You know, they're all different types of distortion. They're all different, but they're all way overloaded, and they have their place. It sounds, you know, that's the Eddie sound. You know,
Well, I got to tell you something. I mean, only since the '90s it's been Eddie sound.
yeah,
you know,
it's a carnal knowledge sound. You know, the balance
first 5 records, even 6,
was
I'd
a
say,
Marshall cranked
it's not even but it's not even distorted really. It's very clean.
Plexi.
Even at its dirtiest, it was pretty clean.
Mm-hmm. And people don't understand. A lot of people don't get that. Yeah, when you listen to 1 and 2, and it's just that it's an overdrive. I mean, it's just a maxed out signal preamp, a maxed out preamp, you know, into a maxed out cabinet.
And a lot of guys don't get, you know, the less gain you use, the bigger the sound the band is going to sound. It's going to just sound bigger. I mean, listen to AC/DC. They are not overdriven a lot. And
that's the kind of crunch that I like.
That band sounds bigger than any band.
Mm-hmm. That Angus Young crunch is a great, that just the Marshall.
So what pickup does Angus Young use in his SGs?
They're just
Probably stock
normal
Gibsons, right?
Gibson pickups, yeah. But his SGs are old ones. They're, you know, I think his
60s.
Yeah, the black one that he uses is like a 67 or a 68.
It's good premiere, good rig rundown for that. Came out a couple months ago.
I think Dweezil Zappa, one of his favorite guitars now, is an old SG. That the headstock broke on it.
Replica of his. It's a replica of his dad's guitar.
Oh, it's a replica. Wow.
Made by Gibson. They made a replica of his dad's guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still want to see Dweezil play his old shredder guitars, but that's just me.
I don't think he has any more of them. I think he sold a bunch of them.
Well, I did ask him, not that I talked to him, but I commented on a post of from the insert of his '91 album, Confessions. And the inside of the insert, you can see he's playing. He has a backwards hat on. If anybody's seen the liner notes and stuff and the pictures in it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he's got a backwards hat on. He's jamming, and he's playing a Steinberger. You know, not the GL2T, the square body. It's what's the model with the normal kind of Stratish body?
GM,
The GM.
GM2 or GM7.
And he has
GM4.
like this, kind of like Magnum PI button-up shirt on. You know.
Oh yeah, because he was friends with Don Johnson.
Oh well, it's just funny. So he posted that.
He played the guitar solo on Heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Did he really?
Don Johnson song Heartbeat. That's Dweezil.
Really? Wow.
Oh shit!
Well, hey, John BL, put the video in the Discord. You'll see Dweezil in the video.
Oh, don't make me go to the Discord.
And I believe he's playing that Green Jackson of his in that.
Mhm. So anyway, he posted that picture, and I said, "Do you still have that guitar? But more importantly, do you still have the shirt?" You know. So he actually responded and said, "I do have." He's like, "What did he say?" I don't have the shirt anymore, but I do have the guitar. So he still at least has the Steinberger. You know. Remember he had that blue Jackson Madonna guitar?
Yeah.
Then the green, what do you have? Was it a green Jackson or a green Charvel?
Green Charvel.
Green Charvel.
2 humbuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a Charvel that looked like an open watermelon.
Yes. I remember that one too. Man. Those were the days, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Jan Hammer's in the video. Heartbeat, you mean?
From the Don Johnson video?
From the Don Johnson. What was it? Was the record called Heartbeat?
Jan Hammer did Miami Vice, didn't he? So I would think they probably collaborate.
Did he? Yeah. I've got a 45. I've got a 45 single of Dweezil's first band called Dweezil, and the cover is him. He's holding a Kramer guitar. I think it's a Kramer. It's him and Moon Unit is next to him, and then the band. They're a bunch of kids, and it's a 45 single. And the song was called "My Mother Was a Space Cadet," and the intro.
Obviously, probably produced by Frank, right?
No, produced by Eddie Van Halen.
Produced by Van Halen and
okay.
and Don Landy.
Wow.
And the intro to the song, was it the intro? The intro was actually Eddie playing.
Wow.
It's a slide guitar part, and it's Eddie playing the intro to it.
You got to post that to the Discord, man.
Well, you can.
So can you?
Look it up.
You know, it's you and me. We're the only ones that are posting there.
Really?
If I post it, you're the only one who's going to see it, and if you post it, I'm the only one who's going to see
Somebody
it.
remind us about all this stuff. John Biel, remind me John, go ahead and post it in there, and that'll remind me to go ahead and post it. But since you already posted it, I won't have to post it.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Renus Pinkle asks if this is a CC DeVille signature guitar. Now, funny you should say that. It's not, but the guy I bought this from originally bought it because he's a fan of CC DeVille and because CC played it on, I don't remember what song. Every Rose Has
Did he
its
play
own.
Ibanez? Yeah, I guess
Steve Vai gave him one of these, and it was his main guitar for like it was on a couple of videos, and he used it on a tour. But that's the reason why. That's the reason why he bought this guitar, and then I bought it. So.
See that color's coming through more than mine does. Maybe I have to turn the lights off in order for the. See, that's closer to the color.
Well, I mean, it has pink. It's against pink, so
yeah, maybe the contrast is helping it pop a little more.
Yeah.
Are they both the same? What is it? Desert yellow or
on yellow? Yeah,
they're both the same, right?
Yeah.
So. Check out the Discord, guys. I mean, we keep trying to push that, but
I love the Discord. I love it over there.
So, Dave, what do you think of Johnny's Kramer back there now with the yellow tone or the yellow volume knob?
I think it fits Johnny very well.
And tone.
I like it, man.
Yellow tone, yellow knob. I'm thinking yellow humbucker now too.
Mhm.
Call
I'm
DiMarzio
thinking
and say,
about it.
"Can you make me a yellow Larry Mitchell X3N? The overwound
X3N?
X2N for that thing."
Ah, I'm sure that'd be cool, but even the X2N, it's a little too heavy.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
What happens is the pickup actually distorts, and it's not a pleasant sound.
Well,
It's-
that's kind of what I'm.
It's just heaviness. It's like there's no. I did a video. I played that guitar through my 5150 one Sunday morning. There's a video on here. If somebody reminds me, John, point at that chicken. Other one. Yeah. There'll be a card right there of me playing that guitar with that pickup, and you can hear it.
Wait, John, try to put your hand where my
Oh man.
Anyway, so what were you saying about the pickup on that video that you played on the Sunday morning?
It's almost it's heavy, but how do you explain it? It's very heavy, but it's not a pleasant heavy.
That's why I don't understand. Why would you? I mean, obviously people like it. Why would you want the first thing in your chain to be?
It's just a very in your face sound.
Unless that's what you're going for, I'd rather have just a real kind of a flat pickup that.
Well,
that you can let the other equipment do the work.
The thing is, it's an old 70s DiMarzio. None of those pickups are pleasant. Those older ones, they're not. I hate to say it. Well, it's the truth. They're not great. It's not great tones because they were made just to be replacement hotter pickups for other, like to throw like a hotter thing into your store bought guitar.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, how does Dave on Larry's Ibanez? How does that X2N sound when you play through that?
It's a lot hotter. And back when he was using that guitar, he was also using Hartke 412 aluminum speaker cabinets, which was a very harsh sound. So that pickup kind of brought down the harshness because it's a very bassy sounding pickup.
So it worked with what he was using it with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those Hartkeys must have been kind of bright with the aluminum,
to say the least. So, and back then he was using Boogie amps. He was using a Boogie Quad preamp or a studio preamp, which is very mid-range heavy, which sounded good through those speakers too. But between the guitar and his preamps, it made the speakers sound good. But plug a Marshall with a regular guitar into it, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard.
Man. Dave, your opinion on
I do not own any SGs.
any opinion on the Ibanez Genesis series, Dave?
I played one. I almost bought one. I almost bought one in Road Flare Red. Nice guitar, but something else had come up that I wanted more, so I decided not to buy it. Very nice guitar though.
And did you get that?
What?
The one that came up?
Yes.
Did you get that one instead?
Mm-hmm. And I don't remember which one it is. Probably one of the Lukes. I think it was one of the Lukes. The purple one, I think.
By the way, have you been playing those guitars?
Yes.
That guy hasn't called in the past couple of weeks. What happened to that guy?
Who cares?
Asking how come you're not playing them?
Maybe he got run over by a plane.
What happened? What happened?
I just don't get that. It's like, we're on the show for a couple hours a week and we talk about certain guitars, but I mean, right now I'm basically playing my Ibanez guitars more than anything, but no one knows. I mean, Dave, you have 1,000 guitars behind you. Who's to say that, you're not playing something else? It's just ridiculous to think that just because, you see somebody on here and we're talking about this guitar and then we're not touching anything else in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just today, I mean, when we came home from our trip, I put my hands on every one of them, made sure they were all in tune. I played them all. Every one of them. You thinking of something funny to say, Johnny?
Uh-huh.
It's going to take a long time.
I've been playing that guitar. I played that guitar today forever, and that has 12s on it.
Oh.
I talked about this earlier today. Oh, who's that? Play an acoustic with 12s for an hour, just nonstop, shredding or whatever, and then pick up your shredder guitar
with 9s on it.
You'll be like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
The way you guys, that's the secret. Warm up on the acoustic, playing all the stuff that you mean to be playing on that guitar.
We've been in everything a step and a half past. Using a whammy pedal? Nah, bro. I warm up with 12s and then I pick up the 9s. And
you won't even need a wiggle stick on that guitar, man. You'll be wiggling enough. I don't know where Captain Smith is. I haven't seen him.
Well,
I didn't send him a thing tonight. I didn't think about it.
Last weekend he wasn't feeling too well, so.
Yeah.
Sure
that's right.
Recovering, and if I'm sure he's doing well now.
I got to tell you, I tried calling him 3 separate times, and he never returned my phone calls. He didn't answer and didn't return the phone calls. So I don't know if he's feeling well at all.
Wow.
All the best to Michael Smith. Hopefully he's doing well.
But back to the Ibanez Genesis series, I think if I was looking to get an Ibanez 6-string, that would be one of the ones that I'd probably look at.
Really?
Because I'm just saying I've heard nothing but great things about them.
There are so many nicer.
But
prestige Ibanez's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that the Genesis isn't nice, but I mean, there's so many much nicer ones.
But it's still nice. At least I've read about them.
Really, Mad Dog?
What? What did he say?
I mean, Jesus. Got to take everything to the next level.
Kind of
he's like the ultimate troll.
Yeah.
That's all right.
At least he's good at it.
We welcome more trolls.
Sure.
I'm thinking about unblocking that one guy and see what he said all these months.
I just figure if somebody isn't getting like personal with stuff, like going after people's family members, it's all's fair, man. If you want to busting chops is fine. Yeah. But when you bring in like other, somebody's family member, that's when it's getting a little too far. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Leave Brittany alone. Come on. Leave her alone.
Yeah, leave her alone and put her in bed with me. Actually, I don't know if I even want that nowadays, man. She's too crazy. I mean, most of them are, but.
Mm-hmm.
I know. We got 51 watching, and it's all the same people. We got like 4 people chiming in there.
It just went to 50. It just went from 51 to 50. Is that cool or what? Come on.
That's good.
Is that nerdy?
So, boys, earlier tonight, I was making some food, and as I was putting my steak knife and fork down, I walked away from my plate. I was eating at the island, whatever the hell you want to call it, not at the table like I should have been. And I walked away, and the knife slipped off the plate, and I grabbed it. And I saw my guitar playing life flash before my eyes.
Oh.
Right on there, on my index finger, I grabbed the sharp part of the knife, and I can't believe it didn't cut it. But for that split second, I'm thinking like, son of a bitch.
You got to do a better job next time.
I guess I do. Grab it and plunge it into my gut.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
Dude, my bass player with his fretting hand, he grabbed the knife one time. So, it's a long story of how this happened, but him and somebody else were screwing around. For some reason, a knife got involved, and he grabbed it. And he grabbed the knife, and a ligament right here, right there, his finger got sliced open, and the ligament got cut. And he's only to this day he's only able to like bend his pinky like to here. He can't straighten it out.
What is that behind Nuzdal? Do you see that? Right there in the middle.
Glowing eyes.
What is that? Yeah.
Something's got it's glowing eyes.
It starts like
Look out, Dave.
imagine it
Get a
starts,
bite.
like, smiling, like fangs come out.
No, it's the EVH logo on my 50-watt head.
Wow, Eddie,
Where
Eddie's
are you?
cooler than I thought.
I'm in my living room.
Where are you sitting? Same place or different place?
Same
The
place.
same place.
Yeah.
See?
Oh.
It would have been funny if that Jasco plumbing supply shirt was still sitting on the couch. It was the same one.
It's not the same one.
Oh yeah, can we see the Buddy Guy Strat?
Because if I get up, you'll be seeing a lot more.
As the train comes through.
It's the last one for the night.
Perfect timing. Oh, 2:30 is the last one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a nightgown?
It's the 2:30. Damn.
You stand up. You stand up when we'll be looking at Jasco's plumbing.
Asco.
Asco plumbing.
More like
No.
Asco.
Johnson Scope Plumbing. The plunger.
Is that a move? The plunger?
It is.
What
and
does
if
that
we're working
do?
on here right now,
Sure it
we
is,
have to
yeah.
do it.
Well, in the chat, they can tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
All right, guys, I'm going to sleep. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for chiming in, Dave. Good to see you.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Talk to you guys later.
All right, Dave. Take it easy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did look evil in the background for a minute.
You
Right?
saw that?
The glowing eyes and the black.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's the beginning of a horror movie right there.
Yeah. Look out, Snickers is behind you. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that looked like the. Actually, that looked like the thing that was in that box in Creepshow. You know that thing in that box. You know what I'm saying?
The thing I remember from Creepshow was the cockroach scene with not Tom Selleck, the guy from Cheers.
Tom Hansen,
No,
Ted Selleck,
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson.
Tom Hansen. Yeah, well, close enough.
Yeah, that
The
one.
cockroaches in the elevator, wasn't it? That was a good movie though. Creepshow was a good early.
The first one. The first one's good.
Yeah.
Second one's kind of weird. But yeah, there was that thing in that box. Well, Dave was talking about how they went to that museum. Maybe he brought that thing home.
Brought something home with him.
That thing was from the museum in the box. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's missing its teeth, and it came back for him. That'd be a cool movie, or a cool skit in a movie. Like a 15
Cool
20
plot.
minute.
Yeah, good plot. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, have you seen Creepshow?
I have. Yeah, it's my second. I brought it up earlier because he was talking about that tooth or whatever, and he was talking about his thumb. And there in the first Creepshow, there's a scene with Stephen King, and he goes out and he sees a meteor crashes, and he brings the thing in, and he ends up turning into like Moss Man,
Mm-hmm.
all like moss and stuff all over him. And so that was my reference to him holding that tooth and then having the thing on his thumb.
Those were all those like the Twilight Zone, Creepshow 1 and 2. There was a bunch of movies that were kind of like the ones that were broken into like little 20-minute segments.
Mhm.
There wasn't like a full story going through the whole movie. They all kind of run together though. I mean, but I remember they were all on the back in the 90s HBO and all that. They were on cable,
in the 80s.
on cable all the time.
In the 80s. I mean, that's when I saw it.
Yeah, you could always tune in.
early
Creep
80s
show
or early 80s at my friends' houses, spending the night.
Mhm.
That's when you would
That's it,
watch
yeah.
Creepshow.
Mhm.
That's when you would watch Twilight Zone, the movie
Twilight Zone,
was
yeah.
another one. You know,
Remember the girl
Tales from the Crypt.
with no face? Tales from the Crypt. Yeah.
You know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Eating cereal. You know,
Mm-hmm.
staying up all night, playing Atari 2600.
Jeez. Yeah, that was it, man. That was the stuff. I remember
Listening to Ozzy records. You know, yeah, that was
Tales from the Dark Side. That was a series, right? HBO with the creep. Was it the same creep show guy? Tales from the Dark Side.
Tales from the Hard Side. Remember the Biohazard record? Tales from the Hard Side. Hard Side. Dun, 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 dun. You know, drop D riffs.
Not familiar with that one.
You don't remember the
X2N
Biohazard
pickups.
band?
Oh, I know Biohazard. It doesn't ring a bell to me. But yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Scott Ian was always, you know, he was like the early comic book, you know, he always put that into his music, the comic book, you know, with the Judge Dredd kind of stuff that they put into their, or what was the song that Anthrax had that was about the
I'm the Law.
I'm the Law, about the comic book comic book guy, whatever the hell it was. Yeah, I mean, he was, you know, that's what kind of got me into. I mean, I was never really into comic books, but I looked into it, that stuff, you know, because of Scott Ian and because of those the bands that kind of promoted that, you know, even Kirk Hammett to some degree, you know, when they were talking about, he was talking about that in the Year and a Half in the Life, talking about their comic book stuff. You know, talking with the fans, you know, where they were in Portland, Maine, and he's like showing off his comic book baseball cards. He's like, "Oh, do you have the Punisher, that one?" You know, man, good stuff.
Yeah, we're still here, Tony.
Barely, back up to 51.
Yeah, I've been out of gas for a while now.
Yeah, what is it? 2:30. Oh, I'm good. It's been a long day, but hey.
Well, that would give me an early evening. You know, for me, it's only 20 to midnight.
Well, hey, we can push to 3 if you want. I'm all good for that. But
Yeah, I could do 3.
3 my time.
no,
Call Steve Anderson for that.
That's right. You West Coast boys.
Oh yeah, the second Creep show had that raft segment. Oh yeah,
That's right.
that was it. Was like tar. It looked like a tar, like an oil
Naked girls.
slick or what? Well,
That was the best part about that one on the raft. I remember that.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, you get the nudity factor in that one. Probably rated R.
That we know what you're watching now.
I'll have to look that one up. It's a good movie.
We could put the trailers for all this stuff in the Discord. We have a lot of cool stuff to put in the Discord tonight. And you see, guys,
and it's just going to be me and Johnny looking at it.
That's one of the good reasons about using the Discord is all the stuff we talk about we can put over there.
I agree. You know,
to give you guys references of like whatever we talked about. I can't even remember. You know, how many frets are on a 7-string?
that depends. How many frets do you want?
Technically, there'd be more frets because the frets are longer, right? So if you add up all the extra fret ends,
There's more fret wire. There's more fret.
yeah.
More fret
Real
wire.
estate. But you could have a real thin neck that has the same, you know, width of a 6-string neck.
Yeah, those strings will be super close together. I mean, mine have 24 for the most part, like your normal Ibanez RG style, Universe style, you know, gem style guitars are going to have 24 frets. I think some of the AZ models might have 22. I'm not sure about that, but how many strings on a 24 fret guitar? Well, that's so. I guess I want to show you guys something real quick. Remember that video I showed a few months ago of Ellie watching David Lee Roth jump off the drum riser during the Oakland, concert, and Ellie jumping off the couch to it? Well, tonight we brought her to gymnastics, and she made me proud. Did her best David Lee Roth impression. You want to see it? I'll show it real quick.
Oh, nice. Love the slow-mo. That's awesome.
I was hoping she was going to say, "Everybody up."
Everybody up. That was cool.
Yeah, she was pumped.
Awesome.
That's all I thought about. Every time she jumped off it, I was like,
Has she been playing her drum set?
no. But the funny thing is she was telling me before she went to bed tonight that tomorrow she wants to play her drum set. And I was like, yes.
Nice.
That's cool.
She won't, though. The second I jump on it, she'll go to play with something else, you know?
I'll give her time. You know?
Yeah, I don't want to force her into doing anything.
How long does it take to tune a 12-string guitar? A long time.
Yeah, longer than a 6-string.
To restring a 12-string. Jeez. I don't think I've ever done any 12-string I've only owned for like maybe 6 months, and I've never restrung them because I got rid of them so quick. They were it's just a novelty, you know.
Do you own a 12-string, Johnny?
Unless you're a singer-songwriter, you don't need a 12-string.
I used to have a 12-string electric.
Really?
Yeah, but it was a custom made. Like the entire thing was custom made, like the body. It was a really ugly guitar because it was custom. The horns were just ugly. I ended up trading it for something else, but
For a pack of gum.
yeah.
Oh.
Hey, we got a call.
We do, but I don't. Hang on.
Go for it. Check it out and let's hear it. But yeah, it's 12 strings, or like I was saying. I mean, if you're a singer-songwriter, you might want to.
I would love to have his 12-string.
They're fun, but yeah, I mean, it's a pain in the ass.
I was telling you about, like, you know, having like an EBO or something for like the recording studio. Having a 12-string guitar
with an EBO,
add, you know, behind a chord progression or something.
Sure,
blend it
absolutely.
You back? I just wanted to
this
say
guy
hello to you and to Mr. John Biel, and to tell Mr. Biel he should show his guitars. I see everyone else's guitars, but I have not seen his, but maybe 1 or 2 times. I watch all episodes, and John does a very good job as a co-host. And also, I would like to congratulate Mr. Hannon on his new Ibanez guitar. It is a very beautiful guitar, and those are also very good guitars, very good quality. And also, that did away with the need for the Kiesel guitar. So I do not like Mr. Jeff Kiesel any longer. The way he has strung you along on that guitar. So I am glad to see you got the Ibanez, his prestige model made in Japan. Very, very, very good quality guitar. So glad to see that happen also. And one thing I wanted to tell Chris Holmes' story, because I thought you were going to say it Tuesday, but the John Mancuta got off track. The story on Chris Holmes was he had Ibanez Destroyer guitar in 70s, and Eddie Van Halen, he, cut up his one and made shark guitar. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to record. He did not like the sound of the shark. So he went to his friend, Chris Holmes, and borrowed Chris Holmes' Ibanez Destroyer for rhythm guitar work in the studio and on album. And kept the guitar for a very long time. And Chris Holmes, he's very big man, and Eddie's very small. And Chris wanted the guitar back, and he could not get it from Eddie. And Eddie finally kept calling the house to make sure that Chris was not home. And Chris's mother wondered why. Chris lived at home at the time.
It's Holmes, not home.
He found out because Eddie had taken the guitar completely apart.
Message is red, press 7. Or to keep it as new, press 9.
It hung up on him.
Just when the story was getting real good.
That's what I was talking about here. This one.
Oh wow, really?
That's the Chris Holmes, right, Johnny? That's Chris Holmes.
Yeah,
This that he used on.
it hung up. The message was too long. That was actually him live, actually talking.
That was
That was actually him actually talking. I answered it. I answered it, but I hit go to voicemail because I didn't know who it was.
He's always got interesting stuff to say. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
cool.
if he calls back, there'll be the second part of that story.
Part two. Part two.
But yeah, that's the Chris Holmes guitar, that one, and it's a red guitar. If you ever see a color picture of it, okay, here we go. It's a
All
red
right, here's
guitar.
Part two.
He didn't play it live, but I think he played it on the album. What's his name? Armand?
Yes.
Armand.
And again, I'm sorry, I did not finish my story. I will pick up where I left off with Chris Holmes. He wanted the destroyer back. And
Can you repeat everything we heard before?
Unbeknownst to Chris, had taken the guitar completely apart and pickups hanging out and so forth. And so anyway, Eddie did not want to face Chris Holmes because he's very big. He thought he would be mad. So he'd make sure he took the guitar to his house when Chris was not there, to his mother. And so he dropped the guitar off with his mother. And one day, Chris, his mother did not tell him either. And one day, much later, Chris opened up closet of the house, and there sat the guitar he was looking for in pieces. So that is what the fate of the Ibanez destroyer, not the shark guitar, but the one that Eddie used after that. So I always like the story, and that always was interesting story. So
that's a good story. I've not heard that.
I hope you can play that on your show. I think some people are interested in Chris Holmes because a lot of people seem to like the story about his Jackson guitar, and Mr. Mancuta was very accurate on that guitar. It was broken. They got the piece of aluminum rail and shaped into a short shark horn and made a exoskeleton for the outside of the guitar. And that's why it looks the way it does. One other thing, I'll make it very quick, is that George Lynch also played shark guitar in the early days when he was with Exciter and when he was early days of Dokken. He played a shark body guitar with a Fender style headstock. So that is something else. You can find old Dokken concert from around 1981 or 82, and you can see George Lynch playing a shark guitar.
Wow.
So that is another person that has used shark guitar or shark guitar a body style in the past. So I just wanted to tell you that.
To mark this message as read, press 7. Or to keep it as new, press 9.
Whoa.
Thanks for all that info.
Armand, man, that's awesome stuff. I didn't know all that about the
destroyer. I didn't. Yeah, that's interesting that he was afraid to bring it back to him.
Why did Eddie take it apart, and why didn't he put it back together to bring it back to him or to give it back?
Because he's Eddie, he's like, he tinkered with it, and he's like, all right, I'm done with it, and and I don't know, but it's funny. That's a funny story.
Did they patch things up after that?
I'm sure they did. Yeah, let's just say they did.
I don't know. I've seen the guitar. Supposedly, there's a guy in Pasadena who has like a huge collection of like all the original like flyers from like when they were playing the clubs and stuff. And it's like a shrine to like early Van Halen. And that guitar, at the time at least, was there in the guy's,
I don't think he ever played it live, but I'm sure. I mean, it's in the studio.
No. It was never played live. It was done. That was the guitar that was used on Women, Children First. On all the stuff without the whammy bar was that guitar. I have actually, if you look it up, there is a color picture of that guitar.
It's not in that photo.
It's
not.
red.
It's not in the pickaxe photo. You know what I mean? This one. I don't see it there. But he's got the Deane down there. He's got the 335.
No, it's
the original circles. I think that's the original circles. I think
it could be.
Could be. It's still speculation. Here's another studio, but they're still black and white studio pictures. I can't. It's too hard. I know it's too hard to like. I can't see what I'm posting and showing at the same time. But either way, cool. Well, thanks for calling in.
That's cool info.
Eddie has too many guitars. I wouldn't say he has too. I mean, there's a lot more, musicians that have much bigger collections. Ed, has. I would say he's probably got 25 really well-known guitars that we could, that we have seen him on, that he's played live. That you start with the 78 Frankie, and then. I mean, if you want to go down what he played on each tour, you could pretty much.
I'll be right back.
You could pretty much narrow it down to what do you think? 25 guitars that are Ed's most well-known guitars, Johnny? Maybe even less. I don't know.
Probably. But here's that guitar. Here's that actual guitar.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Does it have is there a route from the or like an electronic route where that tape looks like it, or?
Well, yeah, they all have that route, because normally there'd be a pick guard covering that.
Oh, okay.
That's the wire. That's the wire going from the switch. But yeah, that's the actual guitar that was played on Women, Children First.
Is that from that picture is from someone's private collection, or?
I think so. Yeah.
So Ed gave it back to Chris, and then Chris must have gotten rid of it at some point.
I guess. Probably. But yeah, that's definitely it.
I would say Ed had probably kind of an average amount of guitars for a rock star that's been around for 45 years anyway. There are certainly musicians that have had much more well-known collections of guitars that they would like a John Mancuda collection. I would say Mancuta's got more guitars than Ed. Maybe not at this point, but throughout his career, he's I don't know.
Well, this Mancuda has made it public how many guitars he has, right?
Yeah. Well, like John Entwistle was one who had a huge collection, or even David Gilmour, I guess, who had a huge collection. Eric Clapton, those guys who made it, you put it up at auction. He put them, they would put them into auction. But certainly after John Entwistle died, I mean, he had, I think, over 1,000 that he, or at least that he had owned.
Jesus.
I don't know if he auctioned off that many, but he had a huge collection.
What's Mancuda up to? Like 400 and something?
Pushing 400, I think. Yeah. But Ed, I mean, I was saying to Johnny, I don't think Ed has maybe 25 guitars that are well known as Eddie Van Halen guitars. But other than that, I don't think there's.
Well, I think he has a buttload that
I know he's got that nobody knows about. Sure, he's got a huge collection, I would imagine, but instantly kind of. I mean, at some point we should go through, Eddie Van Halen, the ones that are, you're not going to necessarily put that Ibanez in the collection of his well-known guitars, but a Circles or a Les Paul that he played on stage, the white Les Paul, those are well-known Eddie At least there's photos of them. I guess that's what you go by.
It's funny the difference between like for instance Steve Vai, right? He has a website. Like his website has a section to it where it's called, I think it's like the link is like machine on his website.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a picture and a story of like every single one of the guitars that he owns.
Right.
It's crazy.
And Ed's, not that he's been secret about them, but he just hasn't really put them out there necessarily. It'd be, a coffee table book, who was it? Geddy Lee just put out a coffee table book of the bass book or whatever it was called. And it was all, I think it's his collection of basses. And it's, hundreds of basses. I'd love to see an Ed book with just his guitars, just the collection that he has. Because I'm sure there's dozens that we haven't seen. I mean, that one that was on one of the more recent ones, that old 1920s big fat mandolin bass that he had, that was on like Guitar Aficionado or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the real antiques that he's probably got back there. And my computer just shut down for some reason. I don't know what the hell just happened.
Too much porn on it.
Is it just sleeping? Jeez, I don't know. I guess it was just sleeping. Usually it doesn't go to sleep like that. But so anyway.
Man.
Anybody got any more questions out there? It's just like I was saying, the same people. Soda's talking, Mad Dog still talking shit. Fruitcake Tony's got a couple things. 400, that's sick. Yeah, Mancuda's he ought to do a coffee table book, man.
I know Mick. He should.
Get in touch with a photographer who can do it justice.
Well, not even just a photographer. Like if he doesn't feel like doing it, hire somebody to do it.
Put it out there because that's such an amazing collection.
I'll pay you to do it. Take pictures. I'll obviously grant you access to all the guitars, but I think they're in like 3 different places. All of his guitars are broken up, but he says, I play them all, dude. There's no way you play 400 guitars.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my 78, like I said, I said earlier, I got the second black coat on there, so it's ready for tape. I'll get the tape pattern in the next week or so, and once I get the tape on there, before I paint it white, I'll show you guys.
Yeah.
Definitely show you the before.
Drew's GS60 asks, what do you guys think of the Boss Katana series of amps? I've never played them personally. I was actually going to get one, and then I was informed about the Yamaha. Man, I'm so tired right now.
I hear you.
TRX, the TRX series, is that what it is?
Is the Boss kind of similar to the Yamaha, like a practice emulator?
But I don't know. Is the Boss Katana? I know the Boss Katana Air, I think, is stereo. Is it, or is it not? But the THR 10X is what I have. Johnny has the THR 10, which is not the high gain. I have the high gain version, and I got to tell you, man, if you're looking to get one of these practice amps, I've never played a Katana, so I can't really compare them. But I have nothing but great things to say about the Yamaha. I have the 5 and the 10, the THR, and I'm telling you, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Renus Pinkel doesn't like him. He said they look sad. But I don't know personally. I've never played the Katana series. So
Yamaha is better. Makes the ladies more wet. Thank you. Pinkel.
There it is. There it is.
There you go. That's the reason to buy it right there.
I just should have said that and then just left it.
I liked hearing it from John.
Yeah, that's true. Mike Nee says it should be no surprise to hear Keith Richards reportedly owns over 3,000 guitars.
It is no surprise, and they're all Telecasters and Les Pauls and Strats. I mean, and they're all kind of blank anonymous guitars that nobody recognizes. Not that I don't. I mean, I love Keith Richards. I love the Stones, but he's always been kind of a plain sort of guitar. I'm sure he's got his Kramers. He's got his Super Strats just to have them, and he's played them live. I'm sure he does.
I've never seen him play a Kramer.
Well, he's got his Music Man right here. If I can, or I don't know if he's got the Music Man in the picture, but unless this concert, you got Mick with the Kramer.
Which guitar does he take off to hit the fan that comes on stage?
Probably that Telecaster.
That was either a Strat or that was a Tele, I think.
That was one of my favorite things that I've ever seen in my life.
That's more Discord stuff right there, where he takes the guitar off. Yeah.
Yeah, like nonchalant, and then just puts it back on.
Well, you got Pete Townsend, who at Woodstock hit Abby Hoffman with his Gibson SG. There's actual audio of that.
There's no video though.
I don't think there's video of him kicking Abby Hoffman off stage with his. But apparently, I mean, there's a whole story behind that. You know, and Pete loves to tell that story. That Abby Hoffman, who was like the hippie dude at Woodstock, that's about the best description I could give you. He came on stage and he wanted to like say something about something political, and
oh god,
Pete, hit him with the SG.
Off the stage.
And the other clip of Pete at Woodstock is, it looks like at the very end of their set, he throws his SG into the crowd, it looks amazing on video, but subsequently he threw it to one of his roadies or something.
Oh.
But you can see like in the film, he throws it right into the audience, and the SG is a small guitar, so he gets some air on it, but apparently it went right to his roadie.
Speaking of the Yamaha, Sean Zimmerman asks, do you recommend the 5 or the 10 for low volume bedroom playing? Either one, man. I think I started with the 5. That one's actually downstairs, and I have some the X5 wireless unit, so I can play guitar and just hang out downstairs. And then I have the 10 up here. Either one will work, man. The 5 is loud enough. The 5 is definitely loud enough. And I guess the only thing it comes down to is if I believe the 10 is like an extra $100. If you have the extra $100, get the 10. More options and it's louder.
Yeah. It's not like when we were kids in garage bands and you had to have that at least 80 watts to compete with someone. Yeah. Nowadays you get a lunchbox amp and it can crank. You can play that through a 412 and compete pretty well. The wattage thing, back in the day was, at least when I was playing in garage bands, you had to have a 60 to 80 watt amp to compete with a drummer. But looking back, that was bullshit. None of that meant anything really, because they were that was advertising, saying it was an 80 watt amp when it may have certainly been, but at the same time, you get a Marshall that was 35 watts that could blast any of those 80 watt amps out of the water.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, the more experience you get as a musician, you're able to control your volume as well.
Mm-hmm. Or especially as a drummer, a drummer who can play light but really play well.
I have, one of the bands that I'm in up in Oakland. You know what I take with me? Well, now I'll be taking the THX. Thank you again, Michael Smith. I'll be taking that. But before, I would take the Roland Microcube. Mm-hmm. We'd rehearse in a living room, full drum set.
That's cool. You can do that.
Me with a Microcube aimed up. It's fine. Mm-hmm. The amp is this big with an 8-inch speaker.
Yeah, 8-inch speaker, exactly.
It works fine. So see, as long as everybody can control the volume.
And that's what I have now is just a 40 watt Marshall 12-inch that.
I'm glad you said 40 watt Marshall before that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, 12-inch, just rolling with the
12-inch, man. That's
I've got a 12-inch.
If you got it, flaunt it. And with that,
hold on. Speaking of these amps nowadays, right? I think that if Eddie came out with an EVH branded amp, not the lunchbox amp that you guys are thinking about, something to like with effects, like a stereo amp. Practice
a combo, a combo practice.
He would crush it. Just like something the same size as the THR. Like
just all you need is years. Dial in 1978. Dial in 1981.
Could you imagine?
84.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to dial in any Eddie Van Halen year. And that's all you need, really. 91. That's a distinct tone. That would be cool.
He would
That would
crush
be
it.
very cool. Absolutely.
Everybody,
Come on,
has
man. Get on that. Get on that. I agree.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And it's certainly possible nowadays. I mean,
And of course, it would have to be striped.
Yeah. 1x12. Give them get a 1 by or a 1x10 even.
No.
For the.
A 2. It's got to be a 2x5 or something.
Oh, you gotta have at least 8. 2x8 would be.
No, you want it to be a little practice amp like this, dude.
Well, then why do you need 2? Those are what, 2x5s?
If you want the chorus and the stereo delay, it's got to be a stereo amp.
Gotta have the 2, yeah.
Once you hit that chorus, you hear it. You hear the
Oh,
stereo.
yeah. So there's one speaker there, right? And it's plugged in, so I can't really pull it that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it definitely sounds amazing.
Man,
Yeah, here's mine. Mine's right here.
nice. Props to Yamaha.
carry?
Yamaha is one of those companies that has.
What's this case though? What's this for?
I don't know.
That came with it too. It came with this, and then this was inside.
Is there a manual with it?
What?
Emmanuel 7.
Emmanuel
Stewart?
We'll be watching that later. I'm thinking what it is this case maybe fits all those different amps, and these are like cushions to put in the case to make the case bigger or smaller. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking it is, because it's just styrofoam in there. It came with 2 of these. It came with 2 of these things.
Oh, so maybe it's like, is it an open back? Is there an open back in the amp?
No.
No. So it's completely enclosed.
Yeah, and
It could have been a baffle or something.
those amps take batteries, right? You can put like a whole handful of
I think it takes like 8 batteries.
D cells or double A.
Yeah, like a huge flashlight.
Like a big, what do they call those boom boxes?
the car battery. It's the size of a car battery. They should just make car battery amps that run on car batteries.
Right?
Man. And on that note, also, yeah, you guys, don't forget to put your favorite parts of the show. Timestamp your favorite. I keep forgetting all this stuff. Timestamp your favorite parts of the programs in the comments on replay. Meaning, put the @ sign. Put what's the 2 dots? @ Is that it?
Well, no, hold on. You just put like this at like 51:25. If you just type something like that in.
That's all you gotta do?
Yeah.
It should highlight it in the.
I'm thinking about web addresses.
Message.
Okay. Is that it?
Put
All right. Either way.
Mm-hmm.
Timestamp your favorite parts down below. And the thing with that is, timestamp something. And if we choose, one of those clips, I'll put it over on the other channel, which is this one. And I'll give you credit. So I'll say this clip brought to you by Renus Pinkel. Or this clip brought to you by Halface.
Dude, you really got to start making those clips for like Instagram. Because if we could share those clips on Instagram, be awesome.
I wish that they made it easier to work with, to upload stuff on desktop.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do all my editing's on desktop and everything, and the stuff can be done for mobile. I mean, it can be done.
Well, can't you just like do it on your desktop, email it to yourself or something, or put it in like a Dropbox folder?
Yeah,
and then you save it on your phone and then upload
Dropbox.
it there.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. I can do that.
That'd be really cool.
But yeah, again, yeah. If you guys, and Instagram, it's a minute long video. Anything over that, if you can go up to 10 minutes, it becomes an Instagram. What do you call it? The other, what do you call it?
Instagram TV or something.
The Instagram. I've got it right here. IGTV.
I don't know Instagram. I don't do Instagram.
Yeah, you can do an Instagram video up to 10 minutes using IGTV. So if we were to upload 10 minutes on Instagram, it would play the first minute on Instagram, and then it would force you to open up the other app. That's what.
Yeah, the little thing, a little icon pops up on the video
Yeah.
that says "Keep watching."
Keep watching on IGTV. Yeah. Yeah. So it's up to you guys. If you guys want to see that stuff, timestamp your favorite parts. Not just on this episode. Go back to any video on this channel. Any of this stuff. There's hundreds of them.
Yeah, if
Thousands.
that's how I got into it with the just follow those links. I mean, geez, I started with one guitar, and Nesdal was talking about his 5150, and I went to every EVH guitar that you guys and Rob and all of you guys. That's how I got into it, and then.
Yeah, go back on the channel. There's a playlist here. There's playlists.
Or if you want to watch Johnny's channel to learn how to play that stuff too. I mean, he's got all the EVH tips that you could imagine. There you go, Johnny. Plug Johnny.
Thank you.
Yeah. But thanks for watching, everyone. Again, Josco's still out there.
Yeah.
Renus, thanks for checking in with us. Want to do
all you guys.
Roll call for good night.
Yeah. Renus, thank you for calling in earlier. Great talking to you.
Half Ace.
Thank you to what's his name? Armand, is it?
Armand, thanks for calling.
Armand, and that was actually him live. That was actually him live talking to us through the phone. It kept cutting him off because it kept going over the limit there. But
yeah, Armand, we gotta. I want to know who you are. Let's. Where are you from? Sounds like you're from somewhere in the Middle East. I don't know, but
people keep saying it's either Caleb or Matt.
I know that's what I was.
People keep saying.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself, but I don't know. Fruitcake Tony, thank you again. Johnny sent me out that US Festival pass. Ticket, really cool.
Yeah, and Jay, yeah, I mailed all your guys' stuff.
Oh, did you?
So look for that stuff pretty quick.
All right, so I'll do an unboxing Friday.
Actually, I have. If you guys, where is it? How many numbers are in a tracking number?
A lot.
16, something like that.
Okay, I can send you guys. Here's what I'll take pictures. I'll take pictures of each of your tracking numbers, and I'll send them to you if you want them.
That's fan.
And then all you do is you just type them in, and you can track. I'll do that. Yeah, once we hang up here, I'll do that.
There's no rush. It's no big deal.
Armand Rappaport. Yeah. Yeah, where's Caleb been? I haven't seen him. Well, I know his Nerd Halen played a couple weeks.
No, man, he got
a few
well, that's it. That's just gigs under his belt. Johnny Beane, who? I have to make an appointment with my agent to get me.
Oh,
I love that stuff though. The stuff he's been posting on Facebook, and I mean, I'll tell you, for a Van Halen cover band, that Nerd Halen it's just great. I don't know what else to say. It's good stuff. But Caleb continues to impress me when I look at those clips. I mean, God, he can shred like Ed. I mean, spot on. It's good stuff. If you haven't checked out the Nerd Halen stuff, check it out, man. Good, one of the best premier Van Halen cover bands, and hopefully they really break this year, like they're trying. You know, get on a good tour. Yeah, and that's all I'll say about that.
That'd be great
stuff.
Yeah, there you go. We'll end it with that. Soda. There we go.
Thanks again, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Straturday night, and cheers. There you go.